Heroes and villains, welcome to a very special episode of Initiative, our Season 1 post-show.
Yeah, look at this. We got a new setup.
Yeah. If you're joining us for the very first time on Spotify or YouTube or anything like that, any of the podcast formats, hello. And thank you for joining us here. We're just going to briefly go over a few things beforehand. Essentially, this whole post-recap show, we're going to talk about how streaming, like tips and tricks, all throughout the show about what streaming a tabletop game is like.
Yeah, what we've learned along the way.
Yeah, what we learned along the way. As of course, we still have so much to learn.
Yeah.
As you can see, and look at how little pale we are.
Yeah, I know.
Corey and I are disgusting.
Yeah. We don't go outside.
Oh yeah. Oh my God.
But and we're also going to talk about our story for Season 1 all throughout Initiative. And then we have some follower questions and stuff. If you're in chat live, you can ask questions too.
Yeah.
Strongly encourage that. I don't have chat open in front of me. So
We got it.
All right, cool.
I even have 100 questions. So.
Yeah. We have our own questions for each other and stuff. So basically, we're just going to polish ourselves off. about this campaign.
Yeah, we're just going to hang out and have a fun chat about
wax poetics.
Everything.
Yeah.
My name's Colby, the Professor GM of Initiative Season 1, and hopefully Season 2, unless you guys get rid of me. Joined here by my lovely players, Cory.
Hi, my name is Cory. I usually play as Elias Crowley, but tonight I'm just me.
Nicole.
Blink twice if you need help.
But like one, like the other, you're like
one at a time.
And David.
Hi, I'm David, and I usually play as Adam Mercury, but I'm just David right now.
Yeah, we're just ourselves, even though our titles say our characters' names, because I didn't
true.
want to write up new names.
It's fine.
Anyway,
Wow.
I know, great. So I think, so I have some announcements beforehand.
Yeah,
of just
definitely.
An announcement for next week. So Season 2 isn't coming back yet, but we do have a special show next week. That's going to be on Spotify and everything as usual.
Been in the works for a little bit.
Yeah. We're going to be playing Kids on Bikes.
Yeah.
August 19th, 2020, next week. Kids on Bikes, which is a game published by Renegade Game Studios, created by Doug Lewandowski and Jonathan Gilmore, and it's going to be GM'd by our lovely friend, Adam Buffoni. You can go follow him at @critsuccess_. That is @critsuccess_ on Twitter.
Yep.
He's a great GM, prominent figure in the tabletop community.
And if you don't know what Kids on Bikes is, it's kind of like Stranger Things, the tabletop game.
Yeah, pretty much.
We're gonna play as middle schoolers. Who get into a bunch of hijinks. It's gonna be a great time.
It's a one shot,
it's a one shot.
It's gonna be just that week. Don't miss it, but it's gonna go up on VODs and everything right after anyway. So, all right, how do you guys want to do this?
Should we start with?
Yeah, I mean, okay. So first off, for people who don't know, Initiative is a superhero adventure tabletop show where the four of us get together every week, Wednesday, 6:30 p.m. on twitch.tv/keeptappinets, and the three of you play teenagers trying to save the world.
Yeah, pretty much.
We use the Mutants Masterminds 3rd edition system.
Yes.
Which we stumbled across a couple of years ago.
I don't know when we started playing that game initially, but it's been a while.
Yeah, it's been years.
I remember
it's been a couple years.
2016 maybe, you messaging me saying, hey, I just found this D&D version of superheroes. If you could think of a character, what would you want to do? And I thought this wildly outlandish character that I didn't play as. Yeah, I had this idea for this guy who was an astronaut who died on a space mission. In atmosphere and then reanimated and then came back and had cosmic powers and he was just
awesome.
he was a skeleton in a spacesuit.
That's
that was
awesome.
his whole thing. It was so cool. I was so happy with it. But never happened.
I mean, so a lot of people tuning in, especially because of the title of the stream and everything, are wondering about just tips, tricks, and stuff for streaming.
Yeah.
Bringing it into streaming. So I guess we should start there.
Okay.
I mean, I guess we should start in saying that we weren't originally streaming our show.
No.
We just played it as a group of friends hanging out, playing the game.
Yeah, we refer to Season 0 a lot throughout the stream, and that was before we actually started streaming that.
Neil's in chat.
Oh, hey, Neil. And then maybe a little...
That's awesome.
a little less than a year ago we started streaming.
November 29th,
Yeah.
2020
Yep.
is when we started.
And it was kind of a snap decision. We maybe a few weeks before we started streaming, we were like, hey, maybe we should try streaming.
We were at a Japanese restaurant, sitting at the bar.
Yeah.
That's when we decided to do it.
Yeah. I think you and I harassed Colby into submission.
Yeah, because I when we were talking, because when we first started doing it, we were talking about maybe recording like a D&D session. We were talking about like because we played D&D a lot with a big group, so we were like, what? And you know, Critical Role was big, so we were like, we could do that.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert.
We had some motivation from the shows like Critical Role and role playing.
Well, I think that goes in the first question that we have. It's said over here, asked by Neo.
Yeah.
We have a few questions by Neo.
Love Neo.
Lovely.
Best fan ever.
I know.
Lovely fan. What made you decide to start streaming your campaign rather than just playing it? Any inspirations?
Right there.
Well,
That and I think maybe it came from kind of like capturing it for posterity.
Yeah.
Because like our stories, like I think, are pretty like complex and fun.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
It's definitely something that I personally enjoy revisiting. I'm sure you guys do too.
Oh yeah, I think especially like one of the things that I was excited for is to like show people what it was and how much fun it was, and like the whole story. I mean, all together we have super fun characters.
Yeah.
The story's great. We all did our like really creative, imaginative things that was different from D&D and what you see. Like, okay, I roll, hit, nope, okay, next, roll, hit, whatever.
Yeah.
And so it's just so much more fun to share that with people than just, chill. Well, I mean, it's still fun to do it by yourself, but
Miserable.
yeah, fucking sucks.
I know that was one of the big things that made Mutants and Masterminds catch my attention. Is I know all of us except Cory, I think, are like D&D veterans.
Yeah.
Yeah, the only time I've honestly played for like a set like steady period of time was playing with you.
Yeah, yeah.
It was when you DM'd.
And I know me and Colby have been playing for a long time. D&D, we started at 3.5 and like moving on to 5th edition. And
Absolutely.
The major difference when we started playing Mutants and Masterminds is there's no map, there's no figures, there's no like I move 5, 10, 15, 20 feet, that kind of thing.
There's no visual component.
That would be hell for you.
Yeah,
Measurements are macro.
Yeah. So instead, it's just focused on the narrative, which I thought, and I'm sure we all thought, was a good medium for streaming.
Yeah.
And there weren't any Mutants and Mastermind streams. There just weren't any Twitch streams doing it.
I imagine it's a really like daunting task to try to DM this. I'm sure you had a hell of a time organizing and handling it all together, but because there's no visual thing, there's no tangible pieces or anything like that, you have to fill in a lot of the blanks.
Yeah, I mean, it makes it easier in that respect because I don't have to make battle maps. So, but I mean, I still did, but they're
'cause
way
you
more
give us
vague
maps,
because I don't have a grid,
Yeah.
So I feel like planning out encounters might be a little easier in D&D, but that's because everything is so laid out. There's also like a butt ton of monsters to pull from, and all of their
literally
stats
like
are
a
laid
book
out.
of monsters.
Yeah.
Is just,
But I mean, anybody who's thinking like, oh man, okay, like, what do I need to start streaming? Like, you just need to go into it. You just need to get your friends. If you feel like you have a good group of friends, you just go and play. It's easier now than ever before.
That's true.
Without a dount.
And even if your quality's not the greatest, look at our early episodes.
Dude, go check out episode 1, and the audio is awful. It's atrocious.
Oh, we were using the Yeti?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it was all three of us on the Yeti.
Yeah.
Literally what we did was like, hey, here's a table, our webcams, and a mic. Just what we had.
Yeah, it was bare basics.
That's it. And then as we went on, we got stuff.
It's amazing in less than a year, like how far we've come. Like we have a fucking green screen.
It's true. Yeah, we've come a long way.
Audio is very important, and obviously the visuals are very important. But don't get caught up in making elaborate maps or anything like that. If you're going online and just playing Roll20, like that's so fine. It's about the stories. Is it an oversaturated market? Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
1,000%. You know what I mean? I wish we were bigger.
Yeah, we're not gonna get like 1,000 viewers, like ever, just because there's so many people doing it. But like, it's fun.
Yeah.
If you have fun with it,
also,
just hop in.
We are one of the few doing Mutants Masterminds right now.
It's true.
So that is nice.
Also, I mean, I feel like a big thing for us is like we like never had to argue about anything. We were never arguing about like how to set things up, how we should sound. Like we all we knew we were doing it for fun.
Yeah.
We knew we were doing it because we felt like it. We go into it being like, we have to do this and make it perfect.
No,
And
well, this isn't a business.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like, as much as we'd like to, none of us are making money doing this.
Yeah.
This is a complete labor of
No,
love.
you're not.
It's just a passion project. Yeah. I mean, we're losing. But we got these fancy ass mics.
yeah.
and
We're in the
lights,
hole.
but it's so cool, though.
yeah.
Plus,
Totally.
It feels nice.
It's nice to have a chat.
Yeah.
You know, like, that's
Yeah.
always a great feeling.
Oh,
you know?
yeah. Having
chat's so nice.
having repeat people come back and follow the story and appreciate things
Yeah.
and stay connected. That's the most like
The biggest reason we
part
keep
about
going
it.
is because you guys in chat. Like honestly,
Yeah.
it makes you. It's so humbling.
yeah.
Yeah.
And every single time you guys crack me up while I'm trying to be fucking
I
serious.
know.
It's so great.
You just look down and you're like, fucking.
I'll go into another question here by Neo. Does it feel any different to play with an audience compared to how the game felt during Season 0, which is when we played beforehand? Do you feel pressured to perform play any differently to how you normally would?
Definitely in the beginning.
Yeah, the first couple episodes
Yeah.
felt like we needed to keep the ball rolling for the sake of keeping things interesting.
Yeah.
Like, I caught certain moments early on where it was like, all right, if I'm sitting here bored, then I can only imagine how the viewers feel.
Yeah.
But it didn't happen very often.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely in the beginning, it was like we wanted to do this. We knew we were doing it for fun, but it was also we had to entertain other people. And so, like, you go into it being like, all right, so other people are watching. What can I do to be interesting or whatever? And I feel like now that we're kind of like chill with it,
Yeah.
now that we're kind of like more laid back, it's a lot easier to like almost forget that. Because, I mean, we
Yeah.
have fun doing whatever we're doing
It's
anyway,
like
so...
genuinely the opposite for me. To me, it's like 100% like, okay, like in the planning stage, I have to absolutely like do as much work as possible because like I cannot be caught with like my dick in my hands. I can't do it. Like,
I don't envy you at all because you have to be like the human audiobook.
Oh, yeah.
It's true.
Yeah, and it's fun, and I like building these worlds and like seeing everybody get excited and stuff. But when I play, I definitely think I play differently than if I'm in somebody else's campaign. I mean, we have
Yeah.
Lucas in chat, who I'm in one of his campaigns, and I feel way more like less. I'm like so
Laid back.
not stressed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just like I can do anything.
Yeah. I feel kind of the opposite of that. I feel like I love doing the wacky things in the campaigns, like coming up with a plan that I know is gonna fail. And
Oh,
like,
yeah.
like when I fail, now that we're recording, I like it more.
Oh.
Because
I get
it
that.
can be like more entertaining.
I,
You know?
I can't count how many times you were like, I have a crazy ass idea and I don't know if I should do it. And I'm next to you like, do it!
Remember when you ran into a wall?
I do remember that.
Chat just remembered.
Struck the wall. Yeah, literally.
So there's this infamous moment in season 0 where we were all tied up because cops caught us. They like handcuffed us or something.
Oh my
in a
God.
building.
Security guard.
Yeah, security guards.
Oh my God.
And-
Just regular security guards.
Yeah, like mall
Normal
cops.
ass
Yeah,
people.
mall cops.
And
This is like
they-
our second like session together.
Yeah.
Yeah, they pinned me to the ground like stomach first, and I was like, "All right, Colby, can I kick my feet so fast that I fly forward out the window?" And he let me do it.
Yeah, he was like a boat motor with his leg, and I've never allowed anything like that ever again.
I remember
was
that
so
because
funny.
like I met you guys doing this.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
Colby gathered all of us together, and that was like my first exposure to you guys. So like you did that, and I was like,
Well,
all right, I can hang with these guys. This is gonna be a good time.
so funny.
That was great.
It's pretty funny.
So I rearranged some of the Neo's questions here for a certain reason. But now that it's over and done with, meaning season 1, how do you feel about season 1 and about tabletop streaming in general? Did it turn out like you expected it to?
That's a good question. I mean, I'm incredibly happy with season 1.
Oh, yeah.
I'm ecstatic with how it turned out.
Yeah.
And with streaming in general, I mean, I think it went better than we expected it to. You know, we got
Yeah, I would say so.
consistent viewers who were awesome.
You got fan art?
We got
Yeah,
fan
we
art.
did.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We had a great time playing. Our characters and narrative advanced a lot.
Yeah.
I
We
think it was great.
we only missed 2 weeks.
That's true.
Also,
Yeah.
that was big, and one of them was a holiday recess, so we did that on purpose. But
Yeah.
literally, like with COVID and everything happened, we only missed 1 week.
That's true. That's
Yeah.
because none of us go anywhere except here.
Pretty
Yeah.
much.
Yeah, we're all shedded.
Yeah, I think season 1 came out really well. When I GM, I think this is my third time. Fourth This is my 4th time GMing Mutants and Masterminds, and it's always short campaigns.
Yeah.
I always do at least 12 to 15 episodes, and then that season's done for people. It was the same with you did. You guys were the first ones.
Yeah.
And then I did 2 more groups after that. And, you know, I don't like long campaigns if, like, it's just, we're walking along now, next quest kind of thing.
It's easy
you know?
to burn out.
I like it tighter, you know? So,
This season 1 is the longest Mutants Masterminds campaign that you've done, I think.
absolutely.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah,
this
bar
is,
none.
This is
Oh, yeah.
twice as long as the season 0.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Really?
almost like 3 campaigns I've
Yeah,
done.
and
Yeah.
even season 0, it kind of was like what 3 arcs. It
Yeah.
was New York,
Sort of.
and then Tokyo, and then I can never remember
Space.
the
Space.
Nabaya, yeah.
It's crazy going through the first season 0 and seeing everything, and because it feels, with all the content that's there, it feels so much longer than like if it was like we could have definitely stretched that out to like a really long campaign, but it was better that we didn't, because we still got all, like, every session was like exciting. Like, it was always something was happening. Like, it wasn't like, okay, now you do nothing, okay, now you do nothing, and but something's gonna happen soon, just wait.
Yeah.
No, I think the only time we had like a content drought kind of like that was you and I in Ohio.
Yeah.
And it was just because like we were at a loss. Like, we did everything we thought we knew what to do, and then after that it was like, okay, fucking now what?
Because we
Please
didn't have,
throw us a bone for
Jackie
this,
who
please.
supports us.
Yeah, and that was the only thing. Like, other than that, like, we haven't hit these ruts or like these like, we hit a puzzle and we have absolutely no fucking clue what to do.
Yeah.
Like, everything is always steadily rolling, and if it's not like a fight, then it's like us figuring out where to go next, or there's role play moments happening, or there's a lot of character development. Like, there's so much like different things that keep happening. Yeah, it's just so varied. It's wonderful.
I would recommend for new streamers or anything, start small.
Oh, yeah.
Especially like with your stories, like create this sort of condensed story for yourselves and do that. Especially one shots. Like do one shots, like a series of them if you want. Like, that's great too, because that'll also get like, it's really frustrating when you have this awesome story you want to tell and then you have technical issues that like you go back and watch it and you're like, man, we can't like do that again.
Yeah.
And that sucks, you know? So, you know, do some one-shots, get the technical stuff out of the way there. And then when you feel, you know, when you can actually hear yourselves, just go for it. You know? It doesn't have to be great, just do it.
Don't think you have to stream a sprawling epic if you're going to stream.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think we got extraordinarily lucky because we got to have a fun campaign regardless of our really shitty setup. So we got lucky because even if like one episode was kind of like messed up, it wasn't such a loss because we had like so many more episodes coming up. We were always making things better. Like, it was just a better.
Yeah.
It was just fun to do anyway.
Absolutely.
I feel aside from the technical point of it too, having players that have chemistry is very important too. And
Yeah.
having players that respect each other and like aren't self-serving. Like, we've talked about this a bunch. He's self-serving. I hate him.
Oh yeah. He
but,
cheats.
Yeah, he does. You know how many 20s he rolled last week? Fucking preposterous.
Two fucking men.
I wrote so many.
Oh, and you know how many ones we rolled?
Yeah. No, there was a magnet under the table.
Yeah.
No, but something that we talked about a lot before was like, I think why this works out so well is because like we all like respect each other's characters and we're all interested in each other's characters.
Yeah.
That we're kind of more excited to find out what happens for like each personal character's story.
Yeah.
To not interrupt things or not kind of like get bored because I'm not involved, so I don't care. But like we all got wrapped up into each other's stories, and I think that kept everybody rolling and everybody excited.
Yeah. And nobody's like, I like this group a lot. I mean, nobody's like, you know, everyone, like you said, everyone's invested in everyone else's story. It's not like, oh, like when, you know, you're fighting, you know, in Nobaya with your
bros.
My papa.
Your papa. It's not like we were all like, no, I want to be like, no, this is about me. Like nobody, everyone was like, yeah, okay, Adam, this is Adam's turn to shine. We're all doing it.
Yeah.
Like, we're invested. Like, we're gonna support Adam doing this. You know.
I have two questions that are kind of the same, so we're gonna bunch up now. One from Logic from chat right now,
Logic.
and then another one from Neo. I'm just gonna ask both of them, and we can
Yeah.
answer. So from Logic, question for season 2: are you expanding the cast? If so, I got this character made up.
Oh man.
And then Neo asked, have you ever considered bringing in guest characters for the show? If so, do you have any particular other tabletop streamer or similar person in mind? Well, we've already been thinking about that.
The first things we talked about with setting all this up was we're going to have guests.
Yeah,
actually.
it was impossible to do so when we first started because we just didn't have the tech to do it. We didn't have the right mixers, and we wanted to mic everybody. At first, we mic'd everybody indivially.
Yeah.
And
That was rough.
it was rough.
There was a lot of bleed.
I don't know if I want to give tips right now on audio.
Oh my!
Don't.
Get these things up here.
Yeah,
I'll tell you, I have all the equipment written down.
Yes.
I'm just gonna say,
give a list of specs.
the biggest problem you will have if you stream is audio.
Yeah.
No question.
Without a doubt.
It will be audio.
Yeah.
You can mic everybody up individually. I mean, we've gone through it all. We've done the Yeti mic.
Oh, yeah.
We did lapel mics.
Yep.
We did cardioid condenser mics. But I think the best so far is what we have now, which are the Audio Technica AT875R shotgun mics.
Yes, these things are beautiful.
Yeah, shotgun mics are really nice. We're still fiddling with stuff as always, because none of us are.
But we've had our shortest sound tests with these.
I know.
Yeah.
Usually we do almost 45 minutes. Sometimes we do sound tests before we go live.
We usually get here around 5 o'clock and air at 6:30.
Yeah.
Just for sound tests.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that hour and a half is us like eating a quick dinner and then testing the microphones for an hour sometimes. Like it takes a while, but we've had our best results with these.
Like different too. Like I feel like every time we do it, we're always talking like this.
Yeah.
Or like,
It's always,
And it's always hell.
or like don't know how to stage whisper.
I was like actually whisper like.
When I had the lapel mic, my voice would vibrate it, so it would like get fuzzy.
That
Your voice carries through fucking anything.
I know,
I've
it
never
really
seen
does.
anything like it.
It's terrible.
My recommendation is it's expensive to just try out different mics, of course, onto there, but just do some research before you make purchases. I mean, shotgun mics cost like $180, like these ones right now, the Audio Technicas, and we have 2 of them. And then you have to make sure you get the mixer, and if you're using XLR mics, you have to make sure you have the proper preamp and the USB interface with that.
Know how to use it.
Yeah, you can't just buy the microphone and hope to pop it in your computer. You can get USB mics, and maybe they sound good. Try it out. Do your research though. Realize what you need before. Otherwise, you're gonna get something in the mail the day before broadcast and be like, I have plenty of time to set this up, and then realize, oh shit, I can't. That's happened to me many times because this isn't the first mixer we went with. We've had many mixers and beforehand, and it sucks when I open it up and I'm like, this isn't the right kind. Where do I plug it in?
But we also got like our studio lighting. There's some soundproof foam, the green screens, and that's all stuff we've added from our experience of being like, how do we make this better? That's why like the first few sessions that we recorded are kind of low quality, like we don't really have much, and then we're like, okay, how do we improve sound, and then how do we improve visuals?
Thanks to iGoBoom on Twitch for the lighting. Before they went overseas, they gave it to us, which is nice. Very nice of him.
Twitch.tv/iGoBoom. Shout out.
Go. But to go back to answer the question, yes, we will have guests.
Yes.
Definitely.
Now that we have the tech.
Next week, in fact.
Not next
Well, yeah.
I guess. I thought you meant for the season. I'm like,
not
wait,
for
what?
Not for season 2, although Adam has expressed interest.
We already have some stuff lined up for guests, and we'll have
sign
more.
up sheets.
We have an application process.
Come back for tryouts. Yes.
We'll see if make the cut.
So let me see here. Give me a minute. So, question from Neo. So I'll go through all of his. Is there any particular moment from season 0, so from before we started streaming, that you wish you had been streaming when it happened? Now, obviously, we didn't be like, why not all of it?
We gotta really jog our memory a little bit for this.
My memory's fresh.
The way
you've been transcribing it practically.
The way I see it is like, imagine if we were streaming the whole thing, but like this is the moment you would want to have been seen the most.
I think there were some. Obviously, it's easy to say like the big bosses, but I think there were some really cool moments with Adam on Nabaya that we haven't seen Nabaya on stream. Adam's home planet. But there were some cool moments with him and the Mad King. Narrative moments that I really liked.
A few of my favorite were the first appearance of Mercury, which was
Yes.
That was
it was
cool.
a comet
At Denny's.
that fell down and crashed into the dumpster behind a Denny's.
Yeah.
Well, it crashed
Or-
upstate and then made its way to a
Oh yeah,
dumpster.
yeah.
I did not always have Mercury. That's another thing
Yeah.
people
Yeah,
don't know.
and Wilt Lucius had the other half, or a
Yeah.
different kind of symbiote that was very similar to.
Who's Will Lucius?
yeah,
that's
what
right.
That's who I would want. I would want
Yeah.
them to see Wilt Lucius.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wilt
CEO.
Lucius,
Oh,
he
there's
was
so many.
like our Lex Luthor.
Oh,
yeah.
He really was.
Nabai was really, really cool.
Yeah, it was a
go
cool
through.
change of setting.
Yeah.
I like Tokyo a lot. Tokyo was a lot of fun. That was our first appearance of
Yeah.
the Sovereign
Kaito.
and Kaito.
Kaito.
Yes,
Yep.
yeah, Kaito was the leader of the
And
Yakuza.
Rise.
Yeah.
And
And
Rise,
Oh yeah,
yeah.
and Rise.
Definitely, when I when I died and lost my arm, that's a good one.
At the very end of
yeah.
season 0.
Yep.
Yep.
When Jackie lost her arm.
Yeah.
It's become a critical part of her character now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was something that was brought up every episode since.
Yeah.
Um,
Never go a day without missing it.
So yeah, there are a lot of season 0 moments that I wish were streamed, but
yeah.
hopefully we'll be able to show them off.
We got to see Elias's band
True.
Yeah.
in season 0.
Which you never brought back up ever.
No,
again.
well, we had a couple
what
characters
was
that were
it?
in season 0.
What was your band called again?
Bloodbath and Beyond.
Or even the blind dive. We like.
Yeah, I think we went there once or twice this
Yeah.
season. If
You
that.
did. Yeah, you went there once.
Yeah.
You spoke to
Um,
Roland.
Fucking Elias Banshee wailed an entire club.
Yeah.
Yeah, that happened, yeah.
Yeah.
That's good.
A club?
Well, like he was on stage
Oh,
and did it,
oh.
and like did to the whole room because like there was an attack or something.
No, you're thinking of. I guess it's season 0.5, season a half. We did one.
Oh,
We did
yeah.
one session
before we started.
before we
streaming.
started, just as like a little. Because we were bored or something. And I was
No,
like, hey.
we begged you until you gave in.
Yeah, well, but it wasn't. Well, it wasn't supposed to be like a campaign. But I was like, hey, let's bring
yeah,
the
it was
characters
gonna be a
back.
one
Yeah.
shot.
And do like a little post show thing, and that started with the veins,
Yep, that introduced V.
and they were robbing like a pharmaceutical company, and there were a bunch of kids.
Oh, yeah,
and
yeah.
and Elias
like
runs
the-
into a room and Banshee wails
I killed her
and
brother.
kills these
Yup.
kids, and
Yeah.
one of them was V's brother. This is
Yup.
before V was introduced as a character.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that started a whole
Yeah.
thing there. So that might be what you're thinking of. I don't think you ever killed a crowd.
No, I didn't kill a crowd, but I definitely Banshee wailed and
Maybe-
like on stage. I remember
Maybe,
that.
maybe in the first episode.
We also
Yeah.
had
On
a
stage.
Could have been.
slightly. We definitely had a lot of power revisions.
We did.
In season
Oh, yeah.
0. I wasn't. I used to be illusion. Jackie was illusionist type deal. Not
Damn, Logic knows his shit.
I know, what the hell logic?
What the fuck?
You know more than we do.
I know, shit.
See, he's gonna start the wiki.
Yes.
Go, sorry.
Initiative wiki.
Please do.
Go on. Sorry, Jack.
Yeah, we definitely had a lot of power revisions. Like we were definitely getting into who our characters were, which was really fun, I think. Because we were kind of like testing the waters, like how did we want our characters to act? What was their motivation?
Yeah.
Do we want our powers to be more like this or like this? Like you in season 1, I think what was fun was you discovering your powers.
Zero.
Oh, season 0.
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah, that's
It's
actually
always gonna be
something.
season 1 in my
That's something that I wish we did streaming was a kind of a personal like homebrew rule for myself was I had my list of powers when we made the character, but I didn't have access to them all until I was in circumstances that required me to use them. So I like activated my powers.
Yeah.
Like my first character sheet has stars next to all my abilities because like once I unlocked an ability, I'd star it and then I had that in my arsenal and went down my list.
Yeah.
And that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, full disclosure, when we started season 0, we didn't know how to play.
Nope.
No,
We
that's-
played completely
Fun
wrong.
fact: we still don't.
Yeah, it's true.
You're right.
we
Do you know how many rules? I wonder if
we-
we could go through and do a counter of how many rules.
Oh yeah. Also, another tip for people who are just starting out: don't, or anybody who's just playing tabletop in general. Like,
Yeah.
who fucking cares about the rules?
I know.
Like,
Yeah.
if you think something goes a certain way, like, just do it.
Yeah.
Like season 0, we did the incorrect
Oh, yeah.
damage system
Oh, yeah.
for the entire season, and it worked out just fine.
We didn't
Yeah.
do injuries.
No,
We didn't do injuries.
Yeah,
We
we,
just
we,
did,
at all.
we didn't
I
know
don't
how
know
to do it.
how we did that.
Yeah,
We-
It was just
Yeah.
like one shot or you're out.
Yeah, literally.
You know?
but it worked. It was fun.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, miraculously none of us died.
And I actually think we still don't do it right.
Yeah,
Believe it or
I don't
not.
think we do either.
We
But
need someone from
it's
Green
fun.
Ronin to put us in our place.
yeah, but it's
seriously.
fun. And like, rule of cool applies sometimes. Like if it's cool, just like do that instead of the actual rule. And like we have a couple homebrew things that we do.
Yeah.
But we revised some, like we actually do injuries now.
Yeah.
Like we did some by the rules because it's still fun.
I think on the flip side too, like you shouldn't be afraid to do a rules check while you're streaming.
Yeah.
Because like if people are watching with you, if somebody maybe more knowledgeable is watching, can commend or direct you one way or the other, or you can look it up, find out for yourself, and teach the viewer at the same time.
Sure.
Yeah.
Be open
Benefits.
to it. Be open to learning what the rules are.
Exactly,
Of course,
yeah.
too.
Just be like, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Thank you. You know.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Question for me. From Leo. How do you go about designing your villains for your games? Making quote boss fights interesting in tabletop is always kind of difficult, but always seems to flow real well during the streams.
I have a similar question that kind of ties in.
Okay.
What's the favorite villain that you made?
That's a
Season
good
0
question.
or season 1?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was one of my questions I had for you
Yeah,
too.
same.
I have a bunch of questions for
We
you.
all like have a whole list of
Yeah, let me answer Neo and then I'll answer.
And a bunch of
Yeah,
Colby
yeah.
questions.
a bunch of Colby.
When I make
Where are
villains,
you?
or rather when I make encounters in general, so like every fight is a boss fight. To me, I feel like there's a method to that some games like to portray, where it's you have to fight the mob. It's the MMO way. The
Croft,
mob, and then the boss, and then. But everything leading up to the boss, it's kind of like it can be a slosh, right?
Yeah.
But to me, like every fight needs to have a meaning, and especially if you want to like infuse a bit of realism into it. Like these characters are fighting for their lives, and I don't want a fight to feel so arbitrary, and so like casual. Like you have to have that chest sinking feeling of like I can die here, and that's what I want the players to feel every time they're in a fight.
Oh, we definitely feel
Yeah.
that every single time.
Yeah, half the time we're dreading it because we're thinking this is going to be the last time we play.
And whenever I have I have specific formats that I follow when I make villains.
Harry, steal his notebook.
The Master Bible.
I have 2 notebooks because this campaign went on for a while.
Oh yeah, you filled one, right?
Yeah, I have.
Oh yeah.
I have two notebooks that I fill. We're on blue,
Blue.
So great.
but
Season blue.
the way I like format everything is I do all their stats. I used to count PowerPoints, and I used to make like okay they're gonna be, this is their power level this. I stopped doing that because it just made things too stressful for me when making. But I actually name all of my villains' attacks. And I don't say them on stream. It's not anime, but they're like, hey, Kamehameha.
But they animate in your
Yeah, if they
notebook.
read the attacks, I've noticed you have. Because after the first time or the second time, we know what it
Just
is. You can just kind of
shorthand.
call it by a
Yeah,
keyword, and we know exactly what you mean.
So
Yeah.
like I did it for the format for Rise's sheet is what I use for all bosses. So like how he had quotes for his attacks, I'll do that for villains too. Like Cam's Cam was particularly funny because I was just writing like a kid using these abilities.
Yeah.
So like some of theirs here was like samurais are so cool, and it was one of Kaito's abilities.
Nice.
I kind of like that though because it reminds. I feel like it would remind you as the GM to like personify the character before you.
Yeah,
pose
yeah.
The scene.
It
It
helps
gives it the
invoke-
cinematic quality.
Yeah, it invokes like it helps me to if they're in a certain mindset. It makes me think, oh, they would use that ability in that mindset,
Yeah.
And then you have like stuff like the Dark Entity. He has Formless Oblivion, which is immunity 60, so
Yeah.
Oh, God,
immune to
yeah.
Fortitude and Toughness rolls and stuff like that.
Probably a
But
good
I
band.
like,
Point
that.
being-
I like that a lot.
Yeah.
Point being, I like to infuse as much character as I can when trying to make bosses, even on a technical side, because I want them to feel. I want my players and the audience, I guess, at this point, to be able to walk away with something for every villain. Who's my favorite? Fuck
Yeah,
off.
who's your favorite?
Yeah,
Fuck
fair
off.
enough.
Who's my
Who's your
favorite? That's
favorite?
literally choosing a kid.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Choose,
come on,
Choose Colby.
All right, some notable ones.
Choose a child.
My
Yeah.
very
We all know.
My-
we
Top
met
three,
them. We
top
bought
three.
them.
All right, I like A Vice and Sin because I had
Okay.
to make 5 characters, and the sheet for them, like the actual like paper on them, this looks really funny.
They were like
It's
our
somewhere
Ginyu
in here.
Force.
Yeah.
So episode 1 of Vice
Love
and Sin.
them.
I
Plus,
know.
I love their name. Like I just
Yeah.
like the name of
Yeah.
Vice and Sin. I think
Yeah.
they're badass.
Of mice and men.
Yeah, that was
Yeah,
literally
exactly,
a play
yeah.
on of mice and
See,
men.
like this is what they're. It looks like
yeah.
it looks like coding
Jeez.
onto there.
It looks
how
like
it's made up.
Sudoku.
Yeah.
Should show that on stream if we can get
Yeah.
on camera.
I
Well,
don't
I
know.
we
don't
could
know
do a
if we can show
picture.
it.
Go
We'll
follow
do
our
a-
Instagram.
Yeah, Instagram.
Yeah, put it on Instagram.
I'll take a picture of it and upload
Yeah, we'll
it.
put it on Instagram.
And
Twitter or whatever.
Wilt Lucius from season 0 is my number 1.
Oh yeah,
I just love
that's
him.
a given. I believe it.
But I also like Hamadi Khan.
Really?
I love Hamadi Khan because I
He's
can
fun.
yell when I when
I like
play
him too. He's so over the top.
Yeah.
Kaito, because I'm a weeb.
Yeah.
And doing his fights was so just so visually splendid for me. Love it.
Yeah. A lot of Kaito's shit reminded me of Ashura's Wrath.
Yeah.
I can see
His
that.
like million-mile long sword.
Yeah,
and
really.
yeah.
I mean, those are my favorite. I think.
Yeah.
You know, like, I love everyone. You know, I love Liani. I think Luther was probably like my weakest one, but that's because I didn't really think he'd stick around.
Yeah.
And Luther was more of a foil to get the judge back in.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I can see that.
So that's why like Luther to me, like you never really got to see a lot of Luther, and see what he's all
There's
about.
always that one when there's like a set of like 7 big bads.
Yeah,
there's always
you
like
know.
that one that's just kind of like there and then
Yeah.
it's gone.
Yeah.
I could have like dedicated a whole episode to him, and you know he did some cool stuff, but it wasn't directly with him. Like he mind controlled Jackie and used illusions to.
That was a really cool moment.
I love that.
That was
moment.
stressful
You
as
two
hell.
were, you
Yeah.
know,
Oh,
I gave
that
them
was awesome,
cards,
yeah.
you know, to pretend they were
Yeah.
illusions, but they didn't know either.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you completely fucking duped us.
Yeah.
That was such
Yeah.
a fun fight.
Yeah.
Some like fun fight.
So like you know, a villain that can let me do creative things like that is also really fun. Since you're gonna ask me my favorite villain, Neo, I believe is his final question here. For everyone individually, favorite character from season 1, and then also a follow-up question for everyone individually, favorite moment. So do favorite character first.
That's so hard, dude.
That is.
Character.
I think I'd have to say Savannah.
Savannah.
I like
That's
Savannah
a good
a lot.
one. Yeah.
Savannah?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I like her a
I
lot.
like Savannah.
Yeah. Shit. Do me last.
I'm surprised. I thought yours would be easy.
Yeah, I'm biased, but V.
Oh well, I guess.
I love V. I think V is wonderful. I love how mean V is to everybody except Elias and even her. Or even him. She like twists the knife on.
Yeah, I like.
I just think like
Yeah.
it's like she
V
is
is
like the
really
most
high up for me.
normal ass person. She's just tough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was really high up for me. Yeah, I'm also biased because Rise is my.
I guess if it's
Rise.
season 1, I just choose it exclusive to season 1.
Yeah, that's why I was trying to think of like because Rise is obviously my number 1, but man, that's so hard, dude. Honestly, I think the Sovereign was my favorite for season 1.
he was a good character. In
He
this
was,
season.
because of our history with him and like his personality and like a back story kind of.
Yeah.
Sorely disappointed none of you chose the Navigator.
The Navigator and the puppy.
The puppy.
That was a good one.
One of my favorites. I think Cedric is one of my favorites.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Cedric's
I
like the
love-
unsung hero of the whole
I know.
thing.
Yeah.
That's great.
He's actually the main character.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is all his fever dream.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I liked Cedric a lot. With him, I actually liked Misty.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Missy
that
and
was
her
such a
dad.
short.
Yeah.
I almost forgot.
Yeah.
In fact, I made like an error with her towards the end because I didn't follow all my notes for the post scene, but she's never found.
Oh.
Yeah.
I was just about to say, like, we never interacted with
No,
Misty.
I brought it up to Nicole one time when we were in, like, during a session. I was like, we're either going to find Lauren or Misty next. And she was like, oh, I forgot about Misty.
Yeah.
We all were just like, good thing we're all accounted for.
Yeah,
Logic just said the best thing. He said Cedric is the Samwise Gamgee of this shit. And that couldn't be
He's
more
right.
true.
Oh yeah, 100%.
yeah, I like playing Cedric and Rise have the same energy to me. Like kind of clumsy, kind of
Yeah, yeah.
you know, but
They're
one's
fun.
way more competent than the other.
Yep.
They're fun.
Yeah.
But
Arguably.
favorite moment
I have
Favorite
two.
moment in season
Oh
1.
man.
was it every time you beat the boss?
Yeah.
Honestly, I mean, like that was just sheer luck. Like
Fucking
I
ass.
it made me very happy that I could.
Oh,
hit
it's
the
luck
finish
when
blow.
you do it, but it's cheating when I.
Yeah, it's cheating when you do it because you do it with a 20.
Yeah.
Yeah, you always get final hit, like, every time.
Yeah, I don't know. It just it
Bullshit.
turned into a trope, and I kind of loved it. It made me feel really good. But one of those two moments I brought up, one of them was kind of that. It was introducing the soul chain or the soul bind thing,
Yeah.
and then flying on a fucking serpent. That
Oh,
was just
yeah.
that was so self-serving. I'm
favorite-
so grateful that Colby let me do it.
My favorite moment has to be when the pillars first showed up. I mean, that, like, defined the rest of the
Yeah.
season.
Yeah.
You know?
Or our modeling
Oh my
That was
god,
good.
yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, we were in drag.
I wasn't there for that. I missed that one.
Yeah, because you were in.
You were sick.
I was sick, and then
you came in.
and yeah,
That was hype.
Yeah, yeah.
It was.
That was hype. Go watch that.
Yeah, that was fucking amazing. That was one of the craziest moments, like
Yeah.
in real life, that happened while we were playing.
We were
you
both
guys-
about to die.
Yeah, you're
and
both
then
like
all of a
actually
sudden,
gonna die.
all of a sudden you
Yeah.
run in.
I was like, I'm getting in the car.
Like it was like a WWF fucking in the 90s moment where like something really bad is happening, someone is about to fucking win the championship that you don't want to win, and then you hear the most unexpected music and someone comes running down the ramp, and it was David.
Dude, I had the stream on in the car and Bluetooth, and I was speeding like I'm gonna get there before they die.
Officer, you can't pull me over. My friends are gonna die. You gotta go save them, kid.
Oh, it was amazing.
I think the first fight with Liani was one of my favorite parts because that was
harsh.
That was hard. Well, I feel like it was the first time we really lost, like actually lost
That's true.
a fight,
Yeah.
and it hit all of us like super hard.
I thought we were gonna ruin the campaign. I thought we were gonna ruin the stream. I thought we were gonna die to a fucking mid-tier boss.
Yeah, all
and then
of
that
us-
was gonna be the end of it.
Mid-tier boss.
She's a bitch, but dude,
Mid-tier?
Yeah, mid-tier.
what do you
The hell?
We didn't know until
How
later.
dare you call one of my bosses mid-tier?
we almost died the
come
second
on,
fight
The
too.
mid-tier bosses are the crab people.
Oh, no, well, the one's bottom tier.
Yeah, they're
That's
bottom
okay,
tier.
they're bottom. The bottom
They're
feeders.
bottom tier. Mid tier to me is like the Bola, who we turned into an ally.
Liani was definitely top
Liani-
tier. She almost killed. She multiple times almost killed.
I mean, I guess she
Yanni's one
earned
of
it.
the strongest.
Yeah, she was super strong.
But the weight wasn't on her that first time we fought. Like it was
You guys
more
didn't
on
know.
the second time when we knew that she was pillar.
Yeah,
I guess, but
I
we
feel
were
like that
still.
kind of beefed up her importance.
I feel
Yeah.
like we were still like that first fight with her. We all felt that collectively, like, and,
Yeah, I thought
and
we
we
were gonna
like I
wipe.
said, we always like each other's stories and stuff. But that was one where we all collectively were like, oh shit, like none of us knew what to do.
Yeah, Ohio was a bad time.
Yeah, never go to Ohio.
There's a question from Logic.
Okay.
What do you hate about playing / streaming / setting up the game besides audio?
That's the only thing. The audio.
What do I hate about setting up?
Playing / streaming / setting up.
The heat.
That's excruciating.
The heat in the summer, yeah.
environment
There's no
sucks.
AC.
Yeah, it's like 85 in here right now.
Yeah, it also sucks is like I go to bed immediately after and it's like sweltering hot in here.
Yeah.
But anyway, I mean setting things that besides audio.
Yeah. Audio does not count, he says.
Video?
Editing video.
Getting on like the
The VODs, we've had issues with those in the past.
yeah, I mean
think that's the only
post editing
thing
has
I go-
become easier now, but in the
Yeah.
beginning it was kind of a headache too.
Yeah.
Especially because YouTube is like a pain in the ass. You want to
Yeah,
upload
YouTube
stuff.
sucks, dude.
So, like I think it was episode 31 or something. Like it, I always try and put things up on Thursdays. You know, the day after to get everybody
right.
immediately. It did not let me post this video, and I tried for like 72 hours, like until Sunday. It just refused to upload my video.
Yeah.
I hated that.
Thankfully, the VODs are also on Twitch, but YouTube is just a pain in the ass when it comes to
Yeah,
VODs.
and it's also in audio form. If you want to listen to it in your car or anything, you can go to Spotify. I think we're on Google now.
iTunes,
all
Yeah,
that stuff.
Whatever you got. But yeah, there's not really much I dislike
Yeah.
about streaming compared to not streaming.
Yeah.
You know, like, yeah, there's technical issues that like you have to get over, but
I think there is a bit of a disconnect in the way of like our physical setup, and because what happens is there's me at my table. Oh no, you know what I hate? Having that. I have a fucking like shitty
Yeah, the
Like
TV
a
tray.
TV
tray. That is
Yeah.
my desk, and I always
it's not
run
big
out of
enough.
room.
It's not big enough.
Hate that.
I can't count how many times
Yeah.
you knocked over your
Yeah.
Yeah,
DM
yeah.
sheet.
I hate that. It's because the way my PC is set up, and because I live in a basement, and there's one wall outlet over there,
yeah.
and that's it.
all.
In this room, there's like another one on the other end of the room, but
Yeah.
it's
We're
not
so
feasible.
lucky we've never blown a fuse while streaming.
It's true.
Just suddenly everything goes.
Like, I also I just don't like that. Like there's cameras between us, kind of sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At the beginning, it
There's
was
almost like
little
a
weird.
mini wall between Colby and the rest of us.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's
A
not a
little
DM
bit.
stream.
Definitely when the Rona started, and we had to do things away. Like when we were at home, and you guys were like,
That
doing-
was
Yeah,
tough.
remote
That-
streaming was
that was
weird.
that was the hardest thing. to do.
Yeah.
Especially because there was so much disconnect, and we couldn't even understand half of like what you or Colby were saying. So we were like sitting there, like, I hope what they said wasn't important.
And that was the Rona episodes when we went to the Sovereign's Fortress for the first time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
that
true.
was a very like narrative driven episode
And
anyway.
it
Like that
just-
was a lot of
It just got so lost because we were lagging so bad and like
Yeah, me and Nicole would be very laggy when we did the remote streaming, just because our internet was not good.
not good.
So those were tough, but that's an exception.
Yeah, I like, meeting in person, it feels
just
so much better.
Yeah.
I have a question for chat. What's a rote?
What?
Rote?
R-O-T.
ROT.
Did you
never-
talk about that? I don't know what
If
that
you
is.
ever need a good rope.
I don't know that. Chat, answer. Anyway.
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
Logic. What's a rote?
Yeah, what's
yeah,
It's a mage thing.
Oh.
It's a mage
What is
thing.
that?
What's mage?
Mage is another tabletop game that Lucas is running for my Thursday groups.
Oh,
and
cool.
It's the same world as
We're talking without you.
Oh,
As
Vampire.
World of Darkness.
yeah, it's World of Darkness.
Oh,
I
interesting.
see.
Such a fan.
But my favorite moment, because I didn't get the answer.
Uh-huh.
I don't know.
You don't know?
It's all great.
Really?
No, you,
I had
you can't say that. That's too
I have to think
generic.
about it more.
I had a second moment.
Oh yeah, that's right.
It was what was the name of that character you met in Real Florida? The old lady.
Delilah's
Oh,
friend.
Delilah. The moment with you and Delilah in the hotel room where she just like
Oh,
changed your life perspective.
Yeah, yeah.
And like
good.
there's just this beautiful moment that happened that while like you and Colby had this like beautiful thing that just happened where just roleplay like was at its
Yeah, that needs
finest.
to stop.
It's because
And
we're in
then-
love.
Yeah.
Well, it
Yeah,
was that, and then like the music coincided with everything, and it hit like this most like heart-wrenching moment, and it was just so pretty and
That
so
was
like
really good.
like I felt good for 45 minutes after that
Yeah, you
happened.
need to back off, my man.
I felt the love in the room.
You don't feel that when me and
I know. I went to your wedding.
and there was less love when
He calls me and asks, "Can you do the Delilah?"
Yeah. I call you up at night.
He calls me at like 3 in the morning.
Can you do that thing?
She's asleep.
All right, dear. So
Put on the piano.
I think honestly, one of my favorite moments was the pillar. Like what
Yeah.
like, that whole episode was so funny
Oh,
and
yeah.
good. And in that moment, like it was genuinely hype when like I turn to the left and I see David coming down the
Yeah.
stairs, and I'm like, whoa. And he comes in and saves the day. Like a hero.
Yeah, it was
Probably
pretty
number
hype.
one
That was
highlight
fun,
for
yeah.
sure.
Oh no! Favorite moment of all time for me was Jackie stabbing Lauren
Oh,
at the winter.
I should
ball.
kill you right now.
The Winter Ball was
You're
a
like,
really fun.
that thing that I made happen.
Yeah.
I can't believe we did the Winter Ball remote streaming.
That's true. Yeah, that was
And
our
it
best
went-
remote streaming
It went great,
session. yeah.
definitely. And that was such a cool thing too, because like we hit the end of a stream, and you were like, "Do you want to do the Winter Ball?" And we were all like, "Yeah!"
Absolutely.
Like we went overtime for that.
Yeah.
Because I was like, man, if I wait an episode to do the winter ball,
It's
it
gonna
means
lose traction.
I have to do so much filler because I can't start it with the stab. I have to end an episode with the stab, or else it will not have that impact. And I didn't want to make filler. You know?
That kind of, it's interesting
Hate
you
it.
said that, because that leads me to a question I had for you that I think
Okay.
would fit right now.
Relevant.
Were there any moments, which I'm sure there were, that you planned out that we fucked up your setup?
Absolutely, dude. The pillar was not supposed to happen for a long time.
Oh yeah,
like
because
months.
I texted.
Really?
So,
Yeah, the pillar. What were you gonna say?
Oh, sorry. I was gonna say because I texted you for that. I think. Was that the?
I'm not talking about.
Oh, sorry. Because I think at that point, because I was sure that I was dead. Like,
Oh.
like, because he was getting mind controlled or whatever by what's her face?
Adalia.
Adalia.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, and you were legitimately killing me. And I was like, I'm gonna die. Like, this is it. Goodbye. And then I was like, wait, I have that one skill, like the dark entity thing.
Yeah, so there's an advantage in the Hero High supplement called, I think it's called Holding Back.
Yeah.
And it allows you to, essentially what happens is you put a point or several points in it, and you get a pool of, I don't know, what is it, like
It was
60?
like a lot of
Yes,
points.
it's a ridiculous
Yeah.
amount of power points, and you get to create this sort of subset
Yeah.
of powers, or, you know, whatever
That
you
like
want
add
with
on
it.
to what you
Yeah,
have.
and you have to roll a will save or a specific trigger happens
Yes.
in order to break through your mental barriers and unleash that power. She had that ever since season 0 because of the gift of the dark entity, and that's how Jackie lost her arm.
Yeah.
In
Making
season
bad
0.
deals.
Yeah, and that, and but going back, the what was supposed to happen was a little bit more with Animus on the ground, and then all the Umbra Collective stuff, and then some other things I don't want to say right now that were supposed to happen.
You idea recycler.
Yeah.
And
We'll find out in time.
yeah, and then the pillar happened, and I was like, oh shit! This this changes the motivations of all the characters now. I had to go through and just redo the whole Umbra Collective, what their plot was going to be and everything, and it worked out obviously for the best. It always does, but yeah, that fucked with me.
I felt like that was going to be a question that you would give a half answer to because you were still going to reuse old ideas.
Yeah, I mean, the stuff with the Umbra Collective is I don't know how much more I can explore with that. I have stuff that can be. I mean, there are stuff you guys didn't.
We do owe them $1 million.
Heron, Big Shot is
Oh,
still a
right.
character you haven't had too much influence with.
Yeah.
He mentioned the Prismatic Coalition, which I use in all of my campaigns as a sort of very loose through line.
Yeah.
Not all my campaigns are canon, they're not in the same universe. But I like to have some themes.
Yeah.
And the Prismatic Coalition is one of them, which I'm sure you guys will discover eventually.
That's cool.
It's
That's exciting knowing that.
Does streaming hold you back from killing our characters?
Yeah.
It does?
I can't lie. It would have really sucked if Elias and Adam drowned in that water trying to save a cat.
I mean,
Bro, we got sticks out of the deal.
That's hilarious.
That was a wonderful moment.
But when it
that.
comes to fighting a big bad,
Yeah,
That
you
last-
could have killed
that
us
last
multiple
one.
times
Oh, yeah.
fighting the dark entity.
Yeah, it's tough because you have to have a
Almost-
balance of stakes and fun.
Yeah.
I almost feel like that last one was an exception because we were just rolling so bad. There was nothing we could have
that
done.
happens.
Well, no,
That was
I mean
horrendous.
the way I had that battle tiered out in my notes is that at a certain point, if they're doing a bad job, a certain benefit will occur to try and help them. That's why the fight is supposed to start insurmountable.
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
no,
Yeah.
and
Oh, no.
you guys quickly found the put the heart in.
Yeah.
You guys quickly caught on to that, and I was
pretty
I was
good.
grateful for that. And then that's when the real fight began. It was basically survive until that happens. But after a certain threshold, another character, the Umbra Collective, joins the fight.
Yeah.
Shane comes in.
I'm pretty sure we got
you know.
every threshold.
I had to make it so Cedric had to be the one to go through and explode
Yeah.
the thing.
I thought for sure you killed him.
Oh, I thought
I
thought he
believed
was
you
gone.
killed him
I thought he was done
for
some
a
against
little
him.
bit there.
I thought about it. But an off-screen death just doesn't seem very fun
Yeah.
I suppose,
to
yeah.
me. But to answer your question, definitely. And I don't. I definitely want to kill your characters.
Yeah. I was gonna say, would you kill one of us, even though we're streaming?
Yes. I'm gonna say yes because if I say no, I think it's digging me into a
Yeah.
fucking hole.
I would hope so.
Yeah.
I like that thread of.
Actually,
I might have to
died.
make
Yeah,
Might
that's what I
actually
like
died.
too. I don't like
Yeah.
games where I know I can't die.
I already know who I would want to play if my character dies.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Yeah.
Neo
okay.
has a question for you.
Okay.
If Colby wants to share that. He says, why was the dark entity making a mortal body for itself, considering how much stronger it was without it?
So the way that the traveling through dimensions in the initiative timeline in the world works, he was trapped there for some reason, and note how our players had a very specific way of getting to the converging
Yeah.
expanse through
We couldn't
savannas.
just go.
The way for the dark entity to be able to escape is that he needed this sort of tether. So he has these protectors who are his tethers, the six that you guys fought. But in order to be able to pass over to this other world, he needed to be a part of it. And to do that, he needed this organic body. Note that it was always chaotic and falling apart. He didn't need it long. He needed it literally just to pass through, to have his power go into that dimension, and then he could just break that body, and then he would become the immortal, the one nobody could beat.
Yeah.
Hence why Animus was like, from that early episode, they were like, hey, you cannot kill him as he is. You have to kill him in that form. You have to disrupt him in that vulnerable state. So, that's why. It's just the way that breaking dimensions works. And that's a tough thing, too, because I don't want to limit my players, because Adam has a dimensional travel power, which is almost less dimensional travel and more like
teleportation.
It's a teleportation.
Yeah. It was like, I'm going to punch you into 20 feet.
But if he wants to at some point, like if he has to, I want that to be open enough. And there are ways. Now that the entity is gone and that the converging expanse is no longer able to merge, the Amble Belt is going to play its own kind of role.
Yeah, you're so connected to it.
Yeah, now that I'm Yuru's slave.
Second in command.
I just got another.
Hope that answers your question. So I know we have individual questions to go down. So
maximum go fast.
Oh, cool.
Maximum go fast.
Maximums. So we'll start with Elias, and we'll go round.
Okay.
So I have a set number of questions too. So if you have any questions, go ahead.
I got a list.
Okay, Nicole, you want to go first?
Okay.
I already asked my questions.
Very good.
Yeah, you fucking
What a piece of work.
blow, kid.
I got another one for you.
Okay.
Where did your inspirations for our storylines come from?
So I knew that I wanted to focus on a setting rather than a story. Well, that's not true. When I make stories in this context, I like to choose specific character stories when to rise up. And my first focus was of Elias. That's why, if you know before, it's all of Animus. And then Jackie fucked that up. She did the pillar, and I was like, okay, now this has to merge together.
That kind of brought everything all together.
Yeah. So you'll know that
we always have a nice flow story.
So you'll note that season 1 is very much the Elias and Jackie sort of series.
Yeah.
And Adam, unfortunately, I couldn't fit another planet.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It
happens.
And I knew that you're the type of person who would just rock it no matter what.
That's fine.
So the inspiration, it's I just want to make stories, and I just think of how big it is, and I like to use character backstories, but it was very easy with Jackie because I had a really nice concrete backstory with the Dark Entity, so I knew who my antagonist was.
Yeah.
Cory's is a little, this is your first tabletop character, your big tabletop character, and anybody who's played tabletop or has GM'd or has played with people knows that your first character maybe won't have the most detailed backstory, and that's okay. He kept it vague for a purpose. I don't know the origin of his powers. He didn't know the origin of his powers. Yeah. So now I could go in and be like, all right, what's a cool origin for him? Now I can make that origin.
Yeah.
I liked kind of making up the character for that, because when we started this, it was just teenagers that happened to discover their powers and then go into things, and that's kind of why I played the mechanic of discovering my powers as situationally I needed them.
Yeah.
So I was kind of learning myself as everybody else was learning me. And I feel like that gave you a lot of room to kind of build the world around the characters. I didn't want to know everything about my character going in. I just wanted to kind of know, this is what I think, this is how I'm going to react, and I'm just going to keep learning as I go.
Yeah,
that's definitely one of my favorite things about your character.
Yeah.
In the campaign, the other campaign I did with you two, I actually used what I was going to use for his villains.
Really?
Which was the church. So to say.
Yeah.
It was the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost.
I wish I knew about
They were amazing. They were some of my. If you want to talk about my favorite villains, they were great.
Yeah.
They were
the
basically
best
imagine
villains.
this old blind
In that
man with
campaign.
power, Warhammer power.
That's so cool.
A son with the spear of Longitis who was insane,
Oh
and
my
then
God.
the spirit, which is a whole other story thing.
Dude,
But
something on paper that the viewers know that I don't, or that the viewers don't know that I do. Elias has a weakness to holy weapons.
yeah,
That'd be perfect. That'd
Yeah,
be so perfect
that's
for
true.
that.
that's what I was going to do. But I didn't know if I was ever going to do a season
Be
2.
gone, Satan.
That'd be
So I don't know if holding up a cross to Elias is going to kill him now.
Now I don't think that really applies as much. I mean, I am the judge.
Yeah, so I have to hold up I don't know.
You got a gavel,
anarchy symbol.
Or no, that's so anti-punk. That's
Yeah, go figure, huh?
that's so different.
Hilarious.
Elias became the establishment.
I kind of have a question for us.
Yeah.
What was our motivations for the powers that we
I have one
chose?
for you,
Ooh,
What was the question?
What were the motivations for the powers that we chose?
that's a
Oh, yeah,
very
that's a
good
good question.
question.
I'm a nerd. I am such a sucker for mental powers. Like, it's like my favorite thing in the world. It's just like mind reading and mind control. I'm like, literally, that's the only motivation
Yeah, I have my list.
for my powers. Was just like, I like
It's cool.
minds. Yeah. And like, I just like it a lot, man.
So it's really funny because like we made the characters. Obviously, we didn't know we were going to stream or anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's why Jackie's name
That is Jackie
is
Galaxy.
Jackie Galaxy, which is for nobody else.
If you
to
guys
know.
were in New
It's
England,
only in
Yeah.
New England.
Yeah.
It's a sushi restaurant
Yeah,
it's
like
a
that.
chain of Asian restaurants.
called
Yep.
Jackie's Galaxy.
Jackie's Galaxy.
Which is literally my
Yeah, so if you guys thought Jackie Galaxy was a cool name, sorry.
You're welcome. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, what about, other motivations?
I mean, I just always have thought speed powers are the coolest thing. I think the Flash is like one of the coolest superheroes, even though I'm more of a Marvel guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just the things you can do with super speed that are so like outlandish
Seriously,
is awesome, and that's
it's so crazy.
yeah,
Game breaking.
I just think it's
definitely-
amazing.
Oh yeah.
Oh, sorry, you go, and then I'll say.
No, I was just agreeing with him.
No, you
Um,
say your answer.
Heard
I'll-
a hand fart.
Elias's powers simply come from the fact that I'm a total fucking edgelord, dude. Like I'm sitting here in an Exorcist t-shirt.
I have-
For fuck's sakes.
I said I
With the Blair
DM.
Witch necklace.
I said I DM'd.
Yeah, dude. Like I'm such a fucking horror geek. Like.
I'm sorry.
I said I've DM'd like 3-4 groups. Every single one has an edgelord that's like the Elias character.
I've even said like I'm the resident edgelord. Like I like punk rock and horror movies, so I just rolled that into a character.
Yeah.
I like but like as far as comics, like I'm more kind of Marvel, but I'm also like I like Image and Dark Horse and stuff like that too. And I kind of rolled like a mix of like Ghost Rider, The Crow, and Spawn into one character, and Elias Crowley came out.
I feel like watch again because we didn't know we were going to be streaming this when we did it, but I think if you watch Initiative, like you just get to know us so quick because all of our powers are based on, it's not like we were being creative. We weren't but like we weren't like being original. We were just like, yeah, this is pretty cool. Like
No, but like I think roleplay comes so naturally because it's just us.
I know that's what I mean. Like if you watch, you just get our, obviously there's certain things like that we're role playing on purpose, but like you just get our essence. Like the reason you did Speedster is because you love Speedster. That's like your personality, and like you're the same thing. Like your soul powers, like that's your personality, and like all of us are like exactly the same. Like we all did it because it matched our personalities, and
It's true.
and
It's true.
If you watch Initiative, then you know like how we are pretty much
it's
as people.
Something that kind of happened as a side effect to doing this, like I said earlier, was like I met you guys through doing this.
Yeah.
And within like a month or two, like
We were just fucking-
everybody jived, everybody
Oh,
knew
yeah.
each other, everybody accepted
Yeah.
each other, and we were all just happy. And,
Yeah.
I was never afraid of like
Flirtable.
feeling judged by you guys or anything like that, because it was just like, here I am, and you guys accepted it, and that's awesome.
It like immediately became my favorite group to play with instantly.
I'm so glad. That makes me so happy.
Yeah. So. No.
But yeah,
Just works.
yeah.
I have I guess it's a question for all of you. It originally was for Colby. What's like a moment that you might not have expected, but that made you like, what's your like proudest moment? Like you're like, holy crap, this is like better than I expected. Like something that you were proud of.
When I made you throw your notebook in the other campaign.
Oh, the other
That's
campaign.
not in this campaign.
I know.
Wrong campaign.
It's just funny.
Proudest moment? Like, I think
Like something that you were like, fuck yeah.
that's tough. I know there are plenty of moments like that. I just have to sift through. I want to make sure I pick the right one.
What about you? Do you have one?
It came from season 0, and it started as a joke.
Mm-hmm.
It was the first time you went to the other dimension when you woke up in the dream and you were in your room, except everything was tinted red, and you looked outside and the sky was red, and instead of the moon there was an eyeball, and Colby was just like describing this terrible, horrible, foreboding place, And I was like, so, like, Florida? And then that turned into, we referred to the conversion expanse as Florida ever since.
Yeah.
And I don't think anybody
Proudest
would
moment.
understand that unless they were there for that. But, like, you guys accepted it.
That's true. Yeah, we call Florida all the time in season 1, and I guess no one knows why.
Yeah, it's literally just, it's an inside joke that has gone way too far.
Because it's terrible. That's the reason.
It's hell, and that's why it's Florida.
And look at it now. It's like epidemic.
It's funny. How about you?
Yeah. Oh God.
Your proudest moment, or not yours, but just like a moment that you were like, I love playing this game.
I don't want to say from season 0, but it is. Because this.
Fuck it.
We can find season 1 moments also.
I always think about it when we were fighting that like giant crab mech underground.
Oh, Dr. Svinsky.
And it was like chasing us out. And we're like, you two were like trying to like fly away, and I can't fly, so like, and we had to like go up, so you had to like carry me.
Oh, you couldn't fly either.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that
I had
was
to
before.
carry both of you.
Yeah, that was before
Yeah.
I couldn't run on walls, and you couldn't fly.
and you couldn't. Yeah, I had to carry both of you.
So there were just like explosions behind us, and you're like flying out with carrying us. It was just so cool. But there are a lot of moments like that.
Man, I don't know. I thought the fashion show was like really awesome.
Yeah.
I thought it was just really funny.
So good, yeah.
And it just has a lot of character to it.
Actually,
And,
I guess from season 1, fighting Kaito in the converging, not the converging expanse, the
Amble Belt.
Amble Belt.
Belt.
I thought that was very cinematic and very
Oh,
good.
That was
yeah.
awesome.
I
yeah,
loved
It's one of my favorite places.
I
was one
loved
of-
going through the Amble Belt.
That was one of the craziest fucking parts because I thought as soon as Kaito showed up, he was going to fucking just kill everybody. He was going to destroy the portals and everything, and he was just going to wreck everything. Like, I kind of felt like that was like a trash place for you, for like Kaito to show up and piss off everybody and just ruin everything in front of us.
Yeah, I like the whole idea of the tethers and their first showing up was meant to invoke a feeling of like, you know, it's the you're gonna be fighting these guys later. You are not strong enough now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's why they're actually stronger than they are in the converging expanse when they're out of it, because they had the blessing of the dark entity. That's why they were covered in shadow. Only one of them could be out at any given time.
Yeah.
And they're just like stronger. But then you guys got stronger in the converging expanse. You know, you have to tease the. If you guys won every single fight going forward, you know, I think honestly one of the proudest moments is the despair you guys got after losing to Liani.
Oh,
Yeah.
Because that was such a driving force
Yeah.
forward, and it really, that's what makes the stakes, right? Like if
That's definitely one of my favorite moments.
Yeah,
And
it was-
I think arguably in the whole season,
yeah,
because
and-
it was just such a.
and May was not supposed to die, like in my notes.
Yeah.
Like I had it all plotted out that like they save May,
Yeah.
little Miss Dower, and then they reunite her with her parents.
Uh-huh.
You guys didn't even go back.
Nope.
No.
You guys
we were
died.
defeated and then we split.
Yeah.
They don't even
In
know.
shame.
As far as they know, their kid is still missing.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
That kind of feeds into the question I asked earlier about like moments that like we kind of
Yeah.
messed up for your planning.
Yeah, and it worked out really well. And I think that's like when that's like a good GM moment of like, all right, who cares about my notes? Like, they make it.
Yeah, I have a question kind of mostly for you two that I could also answer, but maybe for you, something you wish you could have seen with us. Do you guys have any powers you wish you gave your characters?
That was one of my questions too.
Really?
Yeah.
I think some of them I will end up giving to Adam, but there
Yes.
are some powers, like, part of me wanted, like, some cosmic powers because he's an alien.
Yeah.
So, like, some of those I, like, were iffy about.
Pass through walls.
Pass through walls, maybe, or, like,
That's
some, like,
something I wanted
time
to do
jumping
for
because you run so
Elias.
fast, but that breaks the
Yeah.
game, yeah.
Yeah, that's something I wanted to do for Elias also, was the phasing through walls or doors
Yeah,
or something, but it felt too Kitty Pride
Yeah.
to me, so I didn't want to go
So
about
sometimes I stop myself from giving myself a power because I think it'll just kind of break cool moments.
Yeah.
Like, if I could just phase through any walls, you'd never be able to, like, pin me down.
Right.
That would just be like,
Yeah.
nah, I just phase
Can't
through.
do that anyway.
Yeah, but
Well,
you're-
especially
but you
now.
never did.
Well, especially now you have
he
that
could be in
untouchable
jail
thing.
and
Yeah,
be
yeah.
done.
Yeah.
Be done.
Just put him in a cage.
He's out.
Yeah.
I honestly like we were kind of saying earlier, we started out with different powers than we have now. Originally, what Jackie was supposed to be was like illusionist type, like
Oh yeah.
yeah, she was supposed to be like make you feel things or see things that weren't real, and kind of like mind bending that way. I think I like how she is now. I like her weaknesses, and I honestly like giving her like things that don't make her as strong. Like, I like giving her flaws. I like doing things like that. Like, she has the mind control, but it's tiring, and it's feedback, and it's not like an easy, like, oh, I'm just gonna mind control everyone, and that's gonna be it. We're gonna win.
You kind of got turned into this, like, spookier wild card version of Jean Grey.
Yeah.
Where, like, you're possessed by this thing, but you're fighting it off, and you're using it because it helps you, but you don't want its help. And you're so headstrong, and you just want to do what's right all the time, but sometimes you can't.
Yeah.
And I feel like that totally frustrates you.
Yeah, I like how, honestly, I think the version of Jackie that I have now is my favorite. I like how I have her. There's nothing in particular that I could think of right now, besides like a couple like easy powers, like being able to talk to you guys mentally would be pretty good.
It would be.
We have to rely on Rise for that.
But I like how she is right now. I like the challenges because the telekinesis and stuff can get easily like over manipulative and like not OP, but it can get pretty like in season 0 when I was constantly mind reading everyone and we were doing it wrong.
Oh my god!
But I rolled instead of the other person to mind read, and I kept getting nat 20s. And Colby, it was to the point where Colby would literally take me into another room and be like, all right, well, here's what's going on.
It happened more than once where we're doing our session in the living room, and then she'd roll a nat 20 doing a mind read, and Colby would pull her into the kitchen for like 15 minutes. Me and David would have a completely different conversation, like, so how was work, dude? Like, we would just have like a normal ass conversation until they would come back, and then we would resume. Like, we could never do that streaming now.
Which is a big reason why I wanted to put that stuff, like the feedback and the flaws on her powers, because it's too easy to be like, I'm gonna mind control you. It's too easy to do that, especially because like I have progressive, so it makes it easier to. So I wanted it to be more challenging than just being like, I'm gonna be like, fuck you.
I feel like having more weaknesses than strengths on a character makes it way more interesting and exciting anyway. It makes it definitely more interesting for the viewers.
In Mutants Masterminds especially, it's easy to make a power that breaks the game.
Oh yeah.
I feel like any of our powers could break the game if we didn't put them in check.
I feel like we exercise a lot of restraint.
We're reasonable players.
I have a question for everyone. What future aspirations do you have for your characters in season 2?
I can answer my last question and your question with this one answer, but I've never had enough points to do it. I want to give Elias an ability called Lost Souls, where I can summon like a green fire minion person up from the ground, like either like a dead character we've met in the past or just some random character.
Oh my god, that would be
pull
amazing.
Up from the ground and just have for a couple turns.
It would be sick, but difficult to pull up like a character that like we fought, but like a lesser version of them, obviously. Because then you need stat blocks for all of them.
Like the two characters that Elias absorbed.
Adalia and Edom.
To pull them up as like a lost soul minion for
cool.
a couple turns would be obnoxious. But yeah, that's it for me.
Powers are good. I meant like goals for characters, but that works.
Oh, it's all strength building at this point. I want to be strong as fuck.
What the rest of you?
Oh boy, I think narratively, just getting Adam's emotions in check. Because like what happened with not Dahlia, what happened with Delilah, like really like helped him like pave his way, but he's still haunted by like things that he's done in the past, like with Maria and stuff. And he like there are times in combat where like his emotions will guide what he does, and like he wants to try and become more like Zen, like emotions in check kind of person.
I'm surprised you didn't lose your powers when you thought Cedric was dead.
If I found him, I was going. If he didn't like burst his hand out, I planned on doing that.
Yeah. I think definitely character motivation is like, I'm gonna say like almost like freedom. Like definitely, that's why I kind of like V as a character so much, because I think her and Jackie clash. But like it's like one of those things where they both have the same goal, but like completely different mindsets on how you get there. And so I think definitely like something that I want to do with Jackie is like almost make her like, you know, like, all right, this sucks. How can I stop other people from making the same mistake like I have?
I like the struggle and dichotomy between V and Jackie, because it's like you said, like they're both really similar, but like V is the leader of a group of like kind of underling characters versus Jackie kind of serving monstrous overlord characters for power and always being in like a place of like unwilling subservience to these people. And like she like sees what the other has and is just like, dude, fuck you for that. You know?
I think Elias narratively is gonna be a dad.
Hold on, what?
Ixnay. No, hell no.
We're gonna role play that movie.
Hell no.
Because you and V have Cam now.
Oh, well, yeah. That is kind of true.
Yeah, that'd be cute. That'd be cute.
That could be a lot of fun. Personally, like
Punk
thinking
rock
about like narratively for Elias, aside from yeah, I'm just gonna keep talking over that.
Yeah, please do.
Aside from the min-maxing joke of like Elias being stronger every time, definitely exploring the themes of what it means to be the judge for Animus and keeping the balance of life and death and determining who actually deserves to live or die.
Yeah.
Like I'm looking forward to definitely you're totally gonna throw situations at us where like Elias has to decide one or the other and deal with the consequences of that. And I'm definitely looking a lot forward to that kind of
Good. It's all black and white.
Yeah, I don't expect you to either.
That guy, kill him. Fuck it.
I'm glad that we all have moments like in season 0, Elias was the first one to kill someone.
Oh, it was reckless as fuck.
Oh yeah, it was super.
Completely.
But I like that like all of us have moments like, because part of the narration is that we're just like teenagers.
Yeah.
Like we're just kids doing whatever we're trying to do. We have no idea, you know, what we're doing. We're just fucking going with it. And one of the things I like a lot is like you were the first one to kill somebody, and like that's like how it plays into your character, like life and death.
It's
like
you like that I was the first one to kill somebody?
yeah,
Really?
Yeah. But I like how it gets played into your character, especially because, you know, the whole soul thing. Like everyone plays it differently, and like your first person to kill was like Miss Maria, and all like a killing point was like something that we all dealt with in different ways based on our character, and I think it showed a lot. Like just how each character deals with it and like how it affects them and what they do because of it, and like obviously yours is the biggest because literally like you're the judge and
now I have to fucking govern that or else I get destroyed by
whereas we're just like
entities.
Oh shit, like try not to think about it.
Until I punched 1,000 crab people and kill them all.
Crabs aren't.
That's an anomaly.
Crabs,
They were people, man.
Fuck crabs.
Shrimp people. Shrimp kids.
Nah, just die.
Another question. Do you feel as though your character's changed from episode 1 to 33? If so, how?
Hell yeah. I think the last conversation was a very strong thing in that.
Yeah.
Elias kind of killed willy-nilly. Just did what had to be done for the sake of getting it done.
Poor willy-nilly.
Dude, willy-nilly had it coming.
That's villain.
Yeah.
But no, definitely. Like now I think a lot of things have been thrown in my direction to kind of feel the weight of his actions and prove that like actions have consequences, and that's something that Elias considers a lot more now more than ever.
Yeah.
And that's something I didn't really care about before, and I think that works kind of well for like coming of age, for like playing 16-year-old characters. Like as we get older, like we see the consequences of things, so we're kind of more wiser for making the decision.
Yeah.
I think Jackie definitely changed because in season 0 and even the beginning of season 1, she was very like I don't want to say like spoiled, but very privileged, and like she's always number 1, always like I'm the best at everything, like I'm gonna do whatever I need to do and that's gonna be it. And like going through even all the trials and stuff, she's like, oh shit, like this doesn't really work out, like I'm not as big as I thought I was, you know, like definitely getting shrunk down to size, and like
and there are a lot of moments of that, and maybe the dice kind of determine that too with you. But there are a lot of moments where like you're completely fucking confident in a situation, you're gonna bang out whatever needs to be done, and then you roll a 3.
And
or a 2 or 1, or, you know, whatever, and it just kind of like
I think
humbles the character.
Yeah, I think it works because like one of Jackie's like characteristics is she's always very competitive, always number one, always has to be at the top. And going through this, and like one of the things she does is like sports, like obviously it comes up a lot. And so she's had a very easy life of like always being at the top, always being able to do whatever she wanted to do, always being what's the word I'm looking for? Like people look up to her, and being taken down and being like, this is not what is gonna happen. You can't control everything. You don't have all the power. You don't have all this stuff. Like, you gotta chill.
And to also come across the foil to that, which is V, who's come from nothing.
Yeah, the complete antithesis of your character.
Yeah.
Then you stabbed her.
It's true.
It was broad daylight in front of witnesses.
That's honestly like
cops got called.
I feel like that's a good. I really liked that moment as characters, though. Like, I really feel like it came to, again, because it's like we're both similar, like we want the same goal, and just like completely opposite of how to achieve that.
I as much as it sucked in the moment as a player while it was happening, being a bystander in that situation, it was so like of course that would happen. Like, it just kind of like everything hit a tipping point. It just made so much sense.
David.
Yeah.
Adam's personal background and story didn't show up on the main stage in season 1.
It's true.
How did this influence you playing Adam?
I think one of Adam's biggest things as a character is that he feels the need to protect his friends. That's the whole reason why like his emotions stopped his powers in Florida. He felt like he wasn't good enough. And like I feel like going through Jackie and Elias's stories gave a lot of opportunities for Adam to be like, I need to protect them from this thing that they're up against. So like not having Adam's story play out didn't really negative affect me at all, because I feel like there were so many, like when we fought the judge or when we fought the dark entity, Adam was like, now I need to shine because I need to protect them from this thing that's after them. So I feel like it was mostly a positive thing.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah. I don't feel at all at any point like you turned it into something about you.
Yeah.
Like it's just like I'm here. I have to do this to help them, and that was that.
Yeah.
I knew I had to sow seeds, so that's why you have Alabama.
Yeah. Which I'm very curious about.
Yeah, me too.
I,
really
I kept expecting more and more of that to keep coming. Like,
well, you kept passing the will saves.
Yeah,
that's true. Yeah.
The one time you passed the will
You kept
save.
rolling really high will saves, so I couldn't do the next one.
I think that's one of my favorite things. Adam is a great character.
Yeah, I love Adam.
And but like I like that his personality shined through every single thing that we did.
Yeah, you
like,
were so true to the role play of the character.
Yeah, like everything we did, you're like, I'm gonna fuck it, like I'm gonna do this.
And that's one of the main reasons why as Adam I always like tend to go off and do something, like when I ran to Florida.
Yeah.
It's because like he's struggling with like either I am not good enough to protect them, or like the things they're up against is like too much for me to handle, but I need to be the one to step up when it happens.
Yeah.
But when it actually comes to the narrative, it's obviously about you guys.
Yeah, no, but like Adam feels like the unspoken leader of the group for that reason.
Yeah.
Like he's dragging along 2 basket case ass characters with him everywhere he goes. It really feels like that. I love that. I absolutely love that.
It's a fun type of character to play.
Yeah.
But question from Logic.
Sorry.
Yeah, I love Logic's question.
Yeah, me too.
Colby.
Yes.
If you were to play a character in this game, what would they be like and what would their power be?
Like an existing character?
Well,
No,
you
like,
read it wrong.
if you
Hold
were-
up.
Did I?
Hold up. You read it wrong, and it said, "And what would their power suit be?" Power suite.
Power suite, yeah, like what type of power?
So
would they
if
have?
you were going to jive with this
I misread
trio
it.
of
I
jackasses,
misread it. I was thinking power
would you
suit. I was
be?
like, yeah, that's about right.
Like probably like I would either play a sorcerer like Rise, 'cause I've wanted to play it for a while.
Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
Or Iron Man.
Yeah,
Like
I was just gonna say, or Tony Stark.
That's why I was thinking power suit. I was like,
I would
definitely,
immediately
like,
play a rich motherfucker because I'm playing that in another campaign now and I love it. But I just want to play because being a billionaire in this game is so easy.
That's true.
Like
Yeah.
3 points or like 4
Nice.
points and you're a billionaire. So I'd probably be like the rich kid.
What was the alien warship or something that only cost like 3 points?
Oh, the battle.
oh, the battle.
battleship.
yeah.
Yeah, like you
just
can have
that.
you can literally have a star destroyer
That's
floating over your
literally
head
the
for like
Umbra.
no
That's
reason.
literally the Umbra Collective. Like,
Pretty much.
Or you can have a time machine for like 6.
Yeah, time
6
machines are
points.
6
Fucking
points.
absurd.
Yeah.
Like,
Game's-
Green
game's
Ronin, get
weird,
your
man.
shit together.
Oh my God.
I think that's just because
Calm down.
Yeah.
That's just way too overpowered for way little cost.
You
like
did
that's
say no.
ridiculous. I mean, you can,
why
but
would
like,
you? Why
would you?
exactly. Like, don't give them the ability. That's way too cheap for something that strong.
I think it's supposed to be like for settings. Like, do you have like a setting that's pretty much Star Wars? Well, then your battleship is 3 points. But
The battleship's actually like 90, I think.
What
Which is
was
still,
the
you
thing
know.
that was mad cheap that was way overpowered?
time
The
machine.
time machine.
Yeah.
Yeah, time machine.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I play a rich kid or a sorcerer.
I think a rich kid would be a really fun dynamic against.
I'd
like, a
play it up
character like
so
a
hard.
Fly. Like,
You would-
oh my
I
God,
could-
Elias would hate him.
Yeah. I want to be like that insufferable, like, but you know, hard
Like
goal.
delightful children from next door type character.
Oh, not creepy. I don't want to be like connected
Or
to like
delightful children from
you know,
down the lane.
Yeah, I don't want to be like unlikable. You know what I mean? I'd rather be like you know
Elon Musk.
I'd rather be what Xavier is, but with money.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I feel
Okay,
that.
yeah.
Nice.
So yeah, that's who I would play. His name would be like Bert or something.
Bert.
Bert.
Something, probably, you know, whatever.
All right. What's the
I have another question. David's out of the way. Nicole, at the end of season 1, Jackie expressed a level of guilt, feeling responsible for much of the chaos throughout the story's events. Will she be able to forgive herself? Has she already?
I think.
Big ooh.
I think it's definitely, like I was saying earlier, part of how I want Jackie to like be role played, I guess. Like one of her characteristics is because actions have consequences type of thing. And from this far in her life, you know, she didn't have that, and now all of a sudden, like, it's her, or she's thinking like it's her fault for X, Y, and Z, and she, like, one of her flaws is responsibility. Like, she has to take responsibility for other people.
With great power comes great responsibility.
Thanks, Uncle Ben. I love your rice.
Excelsior!
I miss Stan.
Yeah, me too.
But
Yeah, I think that's a good theme for teen heroes in general, right?
Yeah.
Is that theme of responsibility and
or actions have consequences.
exactly, you know, being able to judge, you know, being able to make choices, being able to deal with those choices, and how to deal with yourself after you made those choices, right?
And that's something that's gonna definitely come up. She definitely hasn't forgiven herself at all by this point. I think it's definitely gonna be a conflict between her being like, I'm number one, like, I'm great, I'm gonna do everything, and, you know, the way that she's been living life, and now being like, shit, I don't know, like, I definitely don't think I should be doing this, like, I'm gonna fuck this up, like, what if something goes wrong, kind of deal.
A very relevant question to that was just introduced.
Yeah. Question from Sam in the chat.
Yeah.
What have the parents thought along the sessions? Sticking with the teen theme that we're all high schoolers.
Yeah.
We all have parents that we live with.
Yeah, it's a challenge in of itself to make the mundane life as equally important as the superhero.
I mean, Elias's mom's great.
I love Elias's mom.
Season 0 is a bit more focused on that because you spent a bit more time in New York, or they had to like find out some real solutions to getting to place.
We were a lot more kind of secretive about our lives then
that's
too.
true.
Like, we had these moments where we were like literally texting back and forth to each other,
Yeah.
like, information, so we could all meet up and talk about things, and we were all learning about ourselves at the same time.
Yeah, and season 1, it's a challenge because of the circumstances, like going into another, like everything is so much more chaotic.
Yeah.
That other stuff kind of had to take a back turn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or,
It was definitely more prevalent in season 0.
Yeah, just because the grand scale of season 1, it makes it hard to be like, what do my parents think about me going to a different dimension?
I'm hoping to now like return back to that in season 2 to much more of a like Jackie, you know, Nicole, like you said, actions have consequences, and like your real life has to play a role as well, you know.
Yeah.
And the world now knows that there are these powered individuals.
Yeah.
And you guys have to deal with that.
I'm really looking forward to Elias walking into his mom's house with his girlfriend and a non-binary 12-year-old going, this is my little family now. And her being like,
Do you have room for 2 more?
bitch, what the fuck?
And her dad's just like, see ya.
Yeah,
He just
It's
dips.
that meme where he's like,
and then
fades
disappears.
away.
Yeah.
See ya.
Yeah.
Dude, Discord Shane, hands down coolest motherfucker ever.
Yeah.
But such a terrible deadbeat dad,
Oh, yeah.
realistically.
Your parents too. Like we didn't really talk about it too much, but you have fucked up.
Yeah, you weird robot
You
parent.
have like
Yeah.
fucking. It was not once did we mention it because
You live
technically,
with
it's-
Wally and Eva.
yeah,
it's so-
technically we don't even know.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. It's so funny. Like, not even Adam gives a fuck. He
Yeah.
doesn't
So I
question it.
guess just to premise a little, my parents are like not people because I'm an alien.
They're
They're not,
robots.
they're not my biological parents. And one day Mercury just turned them off
Yeah.
and then turned them back on. And I was like, oh, are they like fine? He was like, yeah.
You're cool.
All right. And we like never touched on it.
Never asked.
So that's a
Mercury
that's
is
how
a
they are.
character who you can't just expect Mercury to explain
Yeah,
anything.
yeah.
You have to like
I
ask a very specific
I
question.
fucking love Mercury.
I love-
Honestly,
he's so
if there's one issue I had with the past like 10 episodes when we were in the Converging Expanse is
'Cause
that
we
there
didn't-
was not enough Mercury, but
I know.
Mercury
It's
wasn't relevant to anything that was happening.
Well, season
Yeah, it was-
2 will be really good for Mercury.
Yeah,
Hopefully.
something that
Yeah.
worked well with Mercury from when we were doing season 0 was like we're in New York City or we're in Tokyo, like we're on Earth.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
like
It's
we're
like-
handling like human technology.
Yeah.
Like we went from New York, we went to New Jersey or New Hampshire briefly,
Yeah.
We went
back to
everywhere.
New York and then Tokyo, and then before that, and then after that we went to Nabaya. Like we're dealing with science fiction and we're dealing with bending the rules of normal life with science.
Yeah.
So like Mercury was super relevant for all of that, but then we went to like Castlevania land for the last 10 episodes.
Yeah, it was more like biological stuff going on. so
Yeah,
Mercury
and
was
it's
all
just
over the place.
it's no fault to the character. He just
Yeah.
wasn't completely relevant to everything, and I'm so looking forward to
Me
more
too.
Mercury.
More Mercury.
Yeah,
More
I want
Mercury.
more Mercury.
Fuck him.
He's dead.
Yeah. Corey,
Yes.
what are your thoughts on Animus, and more specifically, the fact that Elias has an origin for his powers now?
Animus freaks me the fuck out. Animus fucking terrifies me because the boundless strength of what it is. Like, walking through the planes of Animus and learning over time and over, like, a couple sessions that every single individual blade of grass is, like, this projection of all the lives that are currently in existence. It's just this crazy giant metaphor for the way that, like, everything exists and the way everything has this kind of balance. And like we're walking through and stepping on things, and that could mean like we're stepping on these blades of grass and we're snuffing out lives.
Yeah.
And it's just something that like Elias has to like accept and find his like center in and recognize like, all right, my moral compass may not be right, but I have to make it better to keep everything rolling. And the only thing I'm really completely terrified of with Animus is more characters that kind of throw like curveballs at Elias's kind of moral judgment.
Like challenging. Yeah, I see what you're
You know what I mean? Like having more characters introduced that are like different colors of the spectrum that have different
Right.
feelings in things that Elias kind of meeting them knows I have to conquer that person and kind of accept their moral compass as my own and adopt them
Sure,
into
there's a-
everything.
There's a, it's you have to be careful not to become Judge Brem
Yeah.
in the way that
Yeah,
he
yeah.
decided to take it.
Yeah.
It's like I've decided that what I deem is right is
Yeah.
right,
Right,
and I'm gonna fight for that.
What is Elias's, as of right now,
Mm-hmm.
what is Elias's moral compass? Like, because, I mean, I mean, no, but Pat, because so far you've been like, you're just like, nah, fuck these dudes, like,
To
does
a
that change, has
degree.
that changed, or like, will it change, or are you just gonna be like, it's all ambiguous?
It's definitely changed with Animus kind of appearing to him and kind of like non-specifically threatening him as every time like Elias has taken a life, they appear within a couple sessions like, bro, you fucked up. Like I developed a fear as a player of these characters coming back again and again and again, and tried very hard not to take things too far when we're in battles. Like it was definitely a thing where like after the first couple times like Elias killed people, like I felt the weight of that because of that, and felt a lot of restraint because like a lot of my powers are like on top like third tier like damage kills. So I have to pick and choose which things I'm actually going to use in certain situations. Like, I hardly touch Banshee Whale at all anymore. Because I don't want to fucking kill everybody.
Yeah.
And I don't want to deal with the consequences.
You only end up fucking out Jackie.
Every fucking time!
That's me with Sonic Boom.
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
Dude, all of you fuckers, every fucking time you do anything that's an AoE, you're like, fuck Jackie!
You have high will, I'm not afraid of hurting you. But definitely, like, it's gotten more refined, and I feel there's a lot more, I personally have a lot more restraint in the decisions I make as Elias now. And he definitely does have a moral compass at this point, and the moral compass is, if you are going to do something that results in killing other people, then I'm going to kill you first. Like, if you have malicious intent, then you deserve death. And that's kind of Elias's moral compass right now.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah, making Animus to begin with was a challenge in trying not to portray them as evil, but as ambiguous into that.
Yeah.
And so at first they're trying to mold Elias into the opposite of Judge Brem, and then once that conflict ended, they were like, all right, you do your own thing now. Like,
it was
you
like,
have to make the choice now.
Yeah, it was definitely a big turn. It was definitely like, fuck you, stop killing people, to like, oh, well, you know.
Well, I felt that between seeing, like doing the historic touch and feeling, like, the things that, like, the literal child abuse that he was, like, inflicting upon his kids and forcing them to be his, like, kind of lackeys.
Yeah.
Like, it introduced, like, how power can corrupt a person completely. And it was just like, here's what you can become if you continue on the path you're headed down. Don't become this.
Yeah.
And then literally gave us a chance to face it head on. And it was just it
And apply it directly to the forehead.
yes.
Yeah.
it gave Elias a lot to consider, and it makes me consider that when I'm playing as him.
Fun fact.
Yeah.
This is on Twitter. The Animus on Earth, aka Edon, Adalia, and Edon Senior, are named and conceptualized both by their personalities, by the ego, the id, and the superego.
That's so cool. I had no idea.
All three of them.
awesome.
So
I love that.
Edon is the ego.
Yep.
Adalia is the id, so that's why she's like primal and kind of like crazy. And then
impulsive.
Edon Senior, which is the superego. And he's the one who keeps them both in check.
Yeah.
That's so
Nice.
cool.
Yeah, that's
I love
awesome.
Made
that.
him a judge.
That's awesome.
I love that.
Yeah.
So I love them. You know,
Yeah.
all three of them are really fun.
Well, is that kind of your, like, backwards response to the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost?
Yeah, I want to do something similar to that. And what it comes down to is that, like, anything to do with Animus, I had to keep a theme of the mind and thinking and psychology.
It's my favorite thing.
Yeah, so you know, that was just perfect to keep in there, and it's easier to keep an eye on, you know.
Yeah.
I think that works really well with a character like Elias, because that's so fucking punk rock. Like introducing like moral issues and like your sense of justice and your strong feeling of right and wrong, and then throwing that into question, having you practice that,
and you fought a literal judge.
Yeah,
like by occupation, you know.
Yeah.
Did, and the law almost won.
I can't wait to go back to space.
I know.
Yes.
That's what I want.
You've been
We'll see
trying this
about
whole
that.
time.
Because I love sci-fi.
Hell
That's
yeah.
my thing.
Hell yeah.
I want to go back to space and fight more aliens.
I have a question for everybody.
Uh-huh.
What's one like time that you wish you would either roleplay differently or that you had done better? Like, strictly narration, not like, I wish I threw a fireball, or like,
That's always
like
me.
strictly like, I wish that my character had done this because it would have been more in character, or I think it would have bettered the story if I had done this.
I'll go first. I wish I did the ending a little better. The
Really?
very end.
Really?
I wish I wrote it out a bit more. Because
Like
I missed
the
I missed
aftermath
two
of the
like
fight?
super big details, and it like totally didn't. The Misty thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the fact that I don't even know if I should say it.
Say it.
The sage. You guys
The
don't know what happened to him.
No.
Sage.
Oh, yeah.
The giant monsters trapped
Yeah.
in blood.
That we
you guys
oh my
created.
god!
Yeah.
That we literally said like
We
yeah, we'll
fed
set
our
you
blood
free.
to-
He's free now.
Oh,
You guys have to
no.
deal with that.
Yeah.
Now we know season
Great.
2's big baddie.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
So I wish I did those
That
little
was
details
that
a bit
was
better.
I think the only thing that I really thought about. I was like, what about this dude? Like at the end, I was like, yo, we just like let that dude loose and it's empty now. I guess.
I expected
yeah.
him to kind of like join us in battle against the Dark Entity, but I didn't realize
No, I
he
think
was
he-
kind of on par.
I think
with
he doesn't
the
give a
Dark
fuck.
Entity. Yeah.
Yeah,
Now,
I
knowing
guess
that now,
We'll have to see what happens in the future with that.
if that's not a teaser, I don't know what
Yeah,
is.
really.
But something I wish I did better.
Yeah.
Maybe when we
Or roleplay.
went
like,
to roleplay better. Maybe when we went to the Umber Collective, I wish I did more with Big Shot. I wish I like asked him more, or like roleplayed more with him, or even just when I saw Delilah again while there. I wish I like did more with that. Because I know like Big Shot kind of got interrupted, like that arc kind of got interrupted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I wish we like acted more on seeing him.
that was a hard time too because we were
Remote at that
remote,
time. That's true.
so we
yeah.
couldn't
Oh,
have
that's
that face
true.
to face.
Yeah, Big Shot's a really cool character.
I'm interested in him.
From what he like represents and like his backstory, which you guys already kind of already saw his backstory, and also his like power set, if that's what you want to call it. Like, I don't know if you guys like have caught on yet to like what he is or who he is, like what he does. So I don't know if you guys even know what that is. So I don't want to say anything.
Yeah.
Unless you guys know.
Yeah, that's my thing.
For me, the only thing that really comes to mind it's Animus shit.
Yeah.
It's just like I was learning about Animus as a player and as a character at the same time, so I can look at it in hindsight with a little bit better understanding of it. But I
Yeah.
feel like it kind of would have ruined it if I understood more about it as a person than as like a character.
Yeah.
But I definitely kind of wish I had a better grasp of it in hindsight because now I kind of know what to do with it more.
Yeah, I get that.
So like talking to like Egon and Adalia, like it feels more knowing now like I could have done a little better handling those things. Because I treated them like threats without realizing completely that they could be allies.
Well, that's the point.
Yeah.
That's what the point I want to make with almost every villain is like, hey, like, these are also people and they have their own motivations and everything.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you don't necessarily have to like kill them all the time.
Yeah. Well,
Like-
look at fucking the Bola and Cam. Like
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
became kind of assets to our group.
And both
Yeah.
of them started off as villains.
they were villains. Yeah.
I think that's what I like about the enemies that you throw at us is that they're characters and not punching bags.
Yeah.
Yeah. Totally.
Because that's in tabletop games a lot. When you fight an enemy, it's like, all right, I have to kill it. Like it's an enemy, it's there for me to knock down.
Yeah.
No,
Like-
there are certain characters that have like dynamic personalities, and it's like, no, we want to keep that one around. Like
Yeah,
the Bola
yeah.
keeps coming back.
Yeah.
He may just be a dude with an Australian accent, but like we
He's
fucking
awesome.
love him. He's
Yeah.
so cool.
Yeah.
Like he's so fun to be around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he drew a bigger, longer connection to the Umber Collective and all of that.
Yeah.
Like he
You
was
guys
like
were
our opening.
you guys were supposed to fight Verminder and Bjork, the space Viking.
No.
Fuck that.
Yeah.
When you
hell
went
no.
to the Umber Collective,
Hell
I planned out a
no.
whole fight with them.
Really?
But you guys
Hell
played it
no.
well enough so you didn't have to.
I had lunch with him.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
I
wrestled them.
wouldn't, I wouldn't want to fight them.
I know, really.
No,
Fuck
you don't.
that. That's scary.
I could never hit Bjork. It would never happen.
Yeah, I can't punch a dog. It goes
Nope.
against Animus.
One thing I wish you guys did better was the fight against Hamadi Khan the first time. You guys never used the support, like, cause so we when we had his fight,
Yeah,
we
that
had
was a very
different system.
RTS style
Yeah.
fight.
Yeah, we had a system of support points that you could
Yeah,
build
and
because
we
you had
just
allies,
fucking
and you
blew
guys kept hoarding the points.
Yeah.
and use them a little bit for healing, and I was like, guys, there were so many cool things that could happen if you just
Yeah.
summoned an ally.
Yeah, but you know what it is? You're an RTS player. We're MMO players.
I'm
we
not
hoard-
MMO,
I
hell
like
no.
both.
No, but me and David totally are. Like
Yeah,
we hoard
that's
our
cool.
resources until we can spend them on either healing or
Like-
armor.
You could've got- you did it once though. You got Delilah
Yes.
to help
Yeah,
you fight, which again powers you don't know yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you guys could have got Big Shot. And, like Big Shot would have shown up and like fought, and that would have been
Yeah.
like, oh,
Oh, that would have developed
Damn.
him more probably as a character for us.
Would've got-
Delilah's the only one that didn't show up during the last fight.
Yes, she did.
yeah, they did.
But she was there, but didn't show up like to actually fight the
No,
Dark
she-
Enemy.
Neither
Yeah,
did
she-
Verminder
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, but she was
or
there.
Rachel.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were all there, but the Bola and Shane came with us.
You're right. You're right.
And Shane flubbed helping.
Yeah, I was like too.
No, Bola flubbed.
Oh, they both did.
I was doing too. There was too many NPCs in the immediate fight, so I was like, I'm just gonna add like these two. I cannot have like Rachel Verminder. I can't have.
That makes sense.
You know,
it would have literally been like the Marvel Universe fights Onslaught.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I love the idea of that.
Sure.
Or
in concept, it's way better.
Yeah, Avengers Endgame, everybody shows up and fights Thanos.
It would have just turned into me playing the game, and been like, okay, you guys can chill out for a bit. I'm just gonna roll some dice over here. Read you an audiobook.
Yeah.
Not that I'm against it, but
maybe not in this moment setting.
Yeah. What else? Do you have any other questions from chat?
I think I'm good with questions on my end.
I have 2 left. What do you think is the most overpowered ability?
Oh,
like in general that we have?
Well, let's go do both. I know we don't touch time travel and shit like that.
I was just gonna say
I had a time travel character, so
yeah, it was overpowered.
Yeah, it was overpowered.
It has to be time travel. It was overpowered.
I don't think it was that overpowered.
It was. Of course you don't, because it works for you.
I tried to nerf it a lot.
No,
Like,
I totally did.
Okay, I'm gonna tell a little story here to chat. When there was a campaign, a D&D 3.5 campaign that me and Colby played a long time ago, and there was a character in it who had time powers, and there was a moment.
You know who you are.
You know who you are. There was a moment in that campaign where we were getting our asses handed to us. And the character with time powers, correct me if I'm wrong, went back like a few moments.
So what they did was they went to the big baddie's like city, the big bad of the campaign by themselves.
That's right.
To like infiltrate, and the big baddie was like, "Dude, what are you doing in my fucking city?"
Bro,
would smite him.
Yeah.
Adam did that.
Yeah.
Now imagine this.
Yeah, and so he would smite him, but as he was dying, he was like, "Oh, I have an ability that lets me turn back time like 6 hours."
Yeah.
And then he did that, and he was like, "I'm gonna do it again." And like thinking he'll get farther every time, but every single time
Literally
the god was like,
Dormammu, I
boom.
want to make a bargain.
Yeah. Except there was like no way he could like there was no possible way his character at that level could do anything about it.
Yeah.
So, but he just kept doing it. So it was the entire like 4+ hour session.
Yeah, like well over. I think it was over 4 hours because we played for a long time back then.
Was just that. And at the very end, our GM was like, forget it. No more time powers.
Yeah.
That ability you have is banned. And from that day forward, that's when I learned that time powers are not cool.
They break games. They just break campaigns. They don't work.
I liked my time powers.
Yeah.
Nobody else did.
No, I definitely didn't do it as bad as it could.
No, you had one power that was bad. The rest were fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mine was mostly just like movement and like enemy turns would be like off by a minute.
Yeah, it was just that one power that was a little broken.
Just that one power where we all kept all out attacking.
Yeah, her character had a power where if she hit somebody, she could throw them forward in time to the next round. So there would be a round where they didn't exist, and then they would come back.
Knock you into next week.
I would knock them forward like 2 seconds. Or
12 seconds.
12 seconds.
And so what would happen is she'd hit somebody, throw them into the future, and then everybody had a single round to just like go and like stand in a circle, like, and then like, as soon as he popped up, they like, beat the shit out of him. And it was awful. Like, trivialized every boss fight.
So funny.
It's just easy mode.
Yeah.
It's a mastermind.
So but I still had to hit.
Sure.
That was the caveat, yeah.
Every time you hit, they had to make a save.
Oh, so funny. Anyway.
Dumb.
I have another question. What do you think is the most confusing or aggravating rule to adhere to in game?
Confusing role?
Like
rule?
rule. Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh.
Knockback.
Can I just knockback is pretty bad, but can I just say it's in general the way the rulebook is formatted.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't think it's one rule, like to me specifically, but the way the 3rd edition rulebook is formatted is confusing, especially to new players.
Mm-hmm.
It just
that's for sure.
It's just not well formatted.
It's not like user friendly.
Yeah, it's like it explains something on like page 5, and then it doesn't tell you where the further explanation of that is, and then it just happens to be on page 150.
Yeah.
Like you're consulting the index all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little rough. Like I don't envy anybody who has to publish a game like this.
It must be
you know,
tough.
and write for
It
it.
has to be.
Yeah, but I would agree too. Some rules are in some weird places, and
Which,
you know, I'd have to look up a lot of stuff on the Reddit.
Yeah.
You know, on the subreddit.
On the
for it.
Reddit.
On the Reddit.
on the internet.
on the interwebs.
On the interwebs. www.
.org.
Yeah, but I mean, I think that's why D&D 5 is one of the easiest tabletop games for new players.
Oh, yeah.
Because it has a well-formatted rule book that is like it's very simple. And I wish the Mutants Masterminds rulebook was as easy to read as that one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It sucks because like it lends itself to like so much creativity, but in that it also is definitely not a new. Unless you play tabletops regularly, like if that's the first one you're introduced to, like I could see how people could like turn away from it and be like, no.
It's overwhelming.
Yeah, it's definitely overwhelming.
Yeah, and it's different because there's no HP system. Something like that is really daunting.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
how does damage work? I see that question a lot.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's a question that I personally have as a player. Is like we're taking damage and like certain degrees, like okay, like I take all these degrees and now I'm like fatigued or I'm staggered or whatever. But like sometimes I'm taking an injury and sometimes I'm not. Like what determines that? Is that like up to DM discretion or is that up to like statistically?
That's the
What's the question?
Like whether or not I'm actually taking an injury.
So like
based on
sometimes
damage
it's an
I'm taking.
affliction and sometimes it's
Yeah, that might just be the way I'm wording something, but like, yeah, I mean,
sometimes it's just like you're dazed and sometimes it's like you take an injury.
Yeah,
and
sometimes it's like you're dazed or you're staggered, and then other times it's like you're fatigued and you take 2 injuries.
I
It's
mean,
like, well, what the fuck?
no matter what, you always take that. Well, you should never take 2 injuries. So it's like,
usually it's
again,
one.
it's usually like the way it's phrased. It's like, hey,
Yeah.
you fail by 2 degrees. You are dazed and you take an injury.
Yeah.
So that's
That's what got me like jacked up at first was knowing that if you failed by 2 degrees or more doesn't mean you have 2 or more injuries. It just means that another effect is on you. That was definitely
Plus 1 injury.
Yeah. So like, like we, you take if you get hit, you take an injury. That's like kind of a given.
Yeah.
But if you fail by however many degrees, an affliction is put onto you, and that was something that I struggled with for a while because I was like, wait, so I failed by 2 degrees, do I get 2 injuries and I'm dazed? Like, am I getting like how many injuries am I taking? And that definitely took a quick minute for me to get used to being like, I took 2 degrees, all right, I'm dazed, and I take an injury.
Yeah, coming from like simpler games like D&D or whatever, where it's like I have 50 health, I take 5 damage, I'm now at 45 health.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel like a strength that mutants could have would be actually having an HP system.
An HP system would be interesting, but I like the aspect of when they have more injuries, they're easier to kill.
Yeah.
You know, like that whole like they get weaker and weaker and weaker until finally they get taken out.
The problem with like the HP system is you always have like what are they? Bullet sponges.
True.
Oh,
I mean, like if you want to make a villain tougher, you just
Give
just
him like
give him
5,000.
wicked
Yeah.
HP.
and then the fights just become kind of boring.
Yeah.
In this stage, I mean, you didn't one-shot a villain.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, and that's
they roll
something
back,
that-
which
that-
happened.
Yeah.
You one-shotted the judge.
That's
Yeah, I
so
did.
Forgot about that.
fucking
Fuck
funny.
him.
I love how some of the this is like really quick off topic. Like I love how some of the enemies, because you were saying earlier, like, oh, I always make them they're the boss. Like I don't want them to be easy to like kill. But like there's sometimes we just get so lucky.
show up
And
and
you're like
spank
20, 20, 20, and then you're just like, you're a little bitch. Like,
Yeah.
and then we meet him again and we're like, oh shit.
I do honestly kind of like that. Like not having a meter kind of helps because it makes the random things that like happen that you didn't expect to happen way more exciting. Like you can't just like calculate I'm gonna hit this dude, it's gonna do 18 damage, and he's gonna drop. Like I do like that. I just wish for players it was kind of easier to keep track of your own kind of.
I wish there was an injury marker on the character sheet.
That's
true.
what I made on
Yeah, there's
my
not.
own character sheet. I separated a couple of my sections into ailments or afflictions. So I'd put, okay, I'm dazed for X amount of turns, and then I would put like and then I put like injuries versus fatigue, and I put that all on my own page because I was like, I can't keeping
I
track
know.
of how many
There's-
injuries and how many.
I turned my hero points section into that because my hero points like we start I have 1. After that it's done. Like I can remember that like off the top of my head, but the rest of that like I can't keep track of injuries and stuff.
Yeah.
Like that.
Logic has a good question.
What?
Are you planning to branch out to other games on the channel? And if so, what are you planning to
Next
play?
week, we're playing
Kids on Bikes.
with our friend Adam at Crit Success _ on Twitter. gonna be GMing.
Yep.
Where it's a one shot
We're gonna be kids on bikes.
in Louisiana.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
gonna be really fun. I'm
Partner?
really excited.
I'm no, not partner.
That's
Pal.
Share. Like no, we're getting Cajun. Get French. Gambit.
Frau. Senorita.
that's not.
If somebody from
Neither
Louisiana
of
is
those
watching
were
this right
French.
now, I'm
Gumbo.
so sorry. That's just racist.
American.
My race is American.
Oh my god.
Just pull that back a bit.
Anyway.
And are there any other games we have planned, or more consistent ones? Or
I don't know. I want Cory to run Vampire.
Oh, that'd be sick.
yeah.
I need to
I would love to
get
make a
it.
vampire
I need to
character.
learn it. I need
Hound
to
him on-
study it. I need to make a playlist because you can't just play in silence.
Yeah.
True.
I need to set up atmosphere and everything, but in time, I would love to run a one-shot or longer of the Vampire the Masquerade game because
That's what I
it's
want.
just beautiful.
And I would love
Oh.
to play Shadowrun 5th edition.
Oh,
That's the
yeah.
system
Yeah.
I want to play. Shadowrun.
Yeah, we tried playing it, but we just had too many people, and
It's a nightmare.
Yeah.
it was not easy to do.
I'll try though.
But to answer your question, yes for next week and possibly for later.
Yes,
Oh yeah,
we have a
and
little bit of time before we
something
resume.
that
What?
Neo brought up that I kind of agree with. By rule, you should also get hero points whenever you get screwed over by your complications.
That's
That's
a
true.
solid point.
I think it's
actually.
happened.
I think it happened once to you.
I got one
and that
when
was
I
the
went
only
with
ever
Delilah in
time.
Florida.
Yeah.
I don't think
know.
your complication screwed you over too much. I should have gave you one maybe when you stabbed Lauren.
When you made me.
Yeah, but it's like inspiration. I can't let. I
Yeah.
have so much to keep track of. Fuck.
You fuck your shit. Fuck your
Whatever,
hero
man.
points.
Yeah, fine, I get them. They're all mine.
How many villain points do you have at this point?
Oh
Like,
god.
Too
I have
many.
it written down.
You must
That's
have a
like
lot.
2 per
Fucking many.
session.
I have like one or two.
I think villain
I don't get them one per session. I
villain
get
points
them-
are something we homebrew? Or is
No.
that
Yeah, we homebrewed them.
Do we?
Villain points
homebrew-
are 100% home.
We homebrewed
I should
villain
have more.
points?
Yeah, I should have more, but I also have not been keeping track of that.
Dude,
much to your benefit.
I thought villain points was like a thing, like in the game.
Me too.
Nope.
How come that's not a thing?
I like it a lot.
As far
I
as
just like, I thought the first session, I was like, it was back from your first campaign. I was
Yeah.
like, hey, like, I just want like villain points. Like,
I think it may have come from a point of like we didn't understand the injury system and we kept trouncing the guys you're
Oh,
putting
yeah.
in front of us. You're like, you know
Well,
what? Fuck the
also
players,
for
villain
all the
points.
mind reading that I,
I might,
kept fucking
yeah,
over.
I might get rid of them.
Really?
Yeah,
Really?
because I don't like the idea of like my players succeeding and then I say, you know what? Just re-roll it. Fuck it.
Yeah, but
So that's why I have lucky.
I always think like maybe you could use them as like legendary actions in
Yeah,
D&D.
yeah.
Like
Oh,
if
that's
you want to
fair.
do something on one of our turns, you can like use a villain point to
yeah,
like do
I think I
something.
did that with the Dark Entity, but I don't remember.
I just like villain points for the extra drama that adds to it.
Yeah.
It's like
I think
we thought we had something, or we're getting fucking completely stomped, and then just as like spitting in our face, one extra thing. It's
Yeah.
like, what the fuck?
One thing
How could this get any worse?
that I think is very important for people to know when they watch Initiative is we're all like different levels of like experienced in both playing a tabletop and playing the Mutants Masterminds. So like obviously Colby is like the most knowledgeable in like rules because he has to go through them all the time. David is definitely like the second because he kind of like along with
Plays a
Colby
lot of
goes through the
tabletop.
book.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's gone through a lot. Me and Cory, like I have some experience, but I don't go through the book like I should. Like I can't sit there for hours and like go through, read every single like thing.
Yeah,
And
me too. My interest is like niche. If something piques my
Yeah,
interest, I'm
yeah.
gonna fucking delve into
Yeah,
it. But
I'm only
otherwise,
gonna
I'm
look
just
at that
kinda
one
going-
Cory, I always have to be like, hey, all right, does this hit your dodge? And you're like, and I'm
Yeah,
like,
I don't know.
dodge
I don't know. I gotta do mental math.
That's 17.
Yeah, I caught on to that the past couple episodes, but like, before that, it's just like I don't know. I'm just kind of
It
going
was-
with the
it was
flow.
really funny
I'm here
to
for the
do.
story.
Yeah.
I was about to say you're 100% in it for the story.
Yeah.
It feels like rolling a die is like a fucking like chore. You're like,
Yeah.
hold
You're
me.
like,
It is a little bit, but it's like the dice is keeping me from doing exactly what I want to do.
Yeah.
But by the dice being there,
Sure.
it keeps me in check and it keeps
Yeah.
the story
But-
more interesting.
I like
'cause
that,
it's-
though.
Yeah, it gives a level of randomness to it because otherwise it would just be him throwing situations at us and us doing exactly what we wanted all the time.
But the
Yeah.
good thing about it too is literally that shows like anyone can play.
Yeah.
Like literally anyone can play, no matter how much you like have played. Like again, Mutants and Masterminds is definitely something that you have to get into, and like kind of you have to learn the things, but once you get into it, it's like a super fun game to play. Like anybody could play it.
Yeah.
Like it's just so
Completely.
creative.
Especially with the lack of like having pieces and having a grid and having like
Yeah, yeah.
physical things
Theater of the
that we
mind,
have
kind of.
to adhere to, like having like a great GM that is narrating and setting up the settings so you know exactly what you're looking at, even though you can't see any of it.
Yeah.
You can almost picture the characters because they're just so well acted out, and just
Yeah.
everything feels so full and rich.
Yeah, I
And
agree.
I think without that, the game would suffer.
I also think it helps that none of us are like murder hobos.
Oh, yeah, that's
Like none of us play our characters just like I kill everything. You know,
Yeah, yeah.
I think I gotta check on that early on.
Well, like in any like campaign, like I try and have like session 0
No
to be like, hey, what
min-maxing.
is this?
Yeah.
Like my rules are like, hey, listen, we're here to have fun, no trolling. Like,
Yeah.
whenever I DM, like I don't DM like goofy stuff. Like that's just not my style. Like like more lighthearted. Like if I'm gonna dedicate like the time I do into creating these stories, like I want to tell serious stories.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's what I like with levity, of course. But the bottom line is like, if your character is going to kill, like that means something. You know.
And it
I
has.
have a good question for everyone, including people in chat. What is a story moment in season 1 that like actually kind of like got you? Like that either like you were like, oh shit, like it. I don't want to say your favorite because that's like, oh, I have my favorite ones. Like, da, da, da. But what's like at your?
Like shock or like it just made you feel.
It just made you.
It hit you different.
It just what story moment just hit you?
Adam and Delilah.
I mean, that's what comes to mind for me too.
Yeah.
This is- that moment. It was a very emotional moment.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was. It was
it was.
a good moment.
Yeah.
That was really good.
I liked Elias and his mom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes
I like their
where
interactions.
she's
I
just,
do. I always love.
Dad
me a bond
that fills such a void. I love that.
Neo said Delilah and Adam as well.
Oh yeah, Delilah and Adam hands
It
down
was
again.
really good.
It was Neo's first live session watching. It's what
Aw,
turns
was
him
it?
into a fan, he says.
Really?
Wow.
The
was
session that
episode,
ended
like-
with Jackie stabbing Lauren.
That was so
Oh.
Yeah.
that
was
one
what
got
hit
me. Yeah, that one got me real bad.
That one was great because I was planning that since
Oh yeah.
I was playing it before the pillars. It was
Yeah.
like episode 2, I think, is when I first wrote down that that was going to happen.
Yeah.
Um,
I definitely liked getting Rise
I-
back.
yeah, Dane Rise back.
Yeah.
Was nice.
The friction between Elias and V, and how resistant I was to know this will not be a romance storyline, and like just by doing that though, it kind of made that stronger, and it was completely unintentional. It was just like, I'm playing this character, and we're so focused on this thing that I can't even entertain that.
Yeah.
And that kind of just made that a lot stronger as
Yeah.
time went on.
One of the problems with creating a sort of open world system. So when you guys first got to the Conversion Expanse, it was then that I decided I needed to change up my GM style a bit and be like, okay, I need to give them more choice. And so I set, I made the map and I was like, here are all these destinations. You can tackle it in any order.
Yeah.
And as a result, you kind of lose out on certain story aspects. And one of them was Cam lost a lot of time. Because if you tackled Cam and Liani first and you settled that, you would have had a lot more time with Cam. And that would have been explored more.
I see.
So that like going back to the question, like I feel like there were some moments there that, unfortunately, just by the nature of the game.
One thing that Neo said was oh wait, Logic and Neo. Okay, so Logic said Cedric after the retreat. I thought they were going to find that he decided to end it all. Because he got real bad.
Yeah, he got messed up.
Yeah.
I thought for sure
That was
the
definitely,
end. I thought it
like-
was game over.
Giving
for
him sticks was the good thing
Oh
to do.
yeah, that was a little nerve wracking too, because I thought Cedric was gonna be like, nope, bye, see ya. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, Cedric has this person like this. He has his own baggage, like any other character,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like there's like it's mentioned before, like in those
Yeah.
episodes that like his dad doesn't pay attention to him.
Yeah.
Like, his dad is not there. His dad's kind of either a bum or
Yeah.
just not around,
Yeah.
So like he escapes in his own little way,
Yeah.
and Styx is a good way for that.
Yeah.
And Neo said it's but after the dark entity was defeated and the party returned to New York and Colby started playing the casual chill music, like Cory said, didn't know I missed the song until I heard it.
Yeah, that's very
The
true.
Persona 4 music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very like nostalgic.
Also,
Not nostalgic, but,
it completely. I think nostalgic is the right word.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
we spent like fucking 10, 12 episodes in the
13.
Converging
I
Expanse.
have it here.
13. We spent 13
Wait,
episodes.
I have the breakdown of
in
the
Converging
arcs.
Expanse. Dude, that's like 3 months.
There was the Lady Maria arc, which is
Yeah.
episodes 1 through 4.
Yep.
That was big
There was
too.
the
Yeah.
Animus and the Umbra Collective episodes, which is 5 through 19.
Yeah, that was a
And
long.
then the Converging Expanse arc from 20 to 33.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
once we got back to New York, and then like usually like the slice of life background music you would put on when we're like hanging out in New York City
Yeah.
and interacting with our friends or going to school or dealing with our parents and stuff like that. Like I really didn't realize I missed it until I heard it again after going through all this bullshit in
Yeah.
another dimension.
Music is so important
Oh, yeah.
in
It is.
anything, right? And
Yeah.
and I like to I have like a shit ton of playlists on YouTube dedicated to different circumstances of the campaign because music is to invoke emotion.
Yeah.
Oh,
And if I
and
want to
it's
help invoke that
so-
emotion,
it's
and
so
we're small
good.
enough to where I can choose most shit without getting in trouble.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say that's my biggest fear about if we
Yeah.
ever get big is we'll get
Copyright.
copyrighted like
The
crazy.
first thing to go is
Shit.
the music.
We've
Yeah.
only had one episode where we got copyright flagged, right?
No.
No?
Oh god.
Are you sure? There was one like
So
you said that
many,
was
dude.
really significant.
There's what we have
Savannah.
like Kingdom Hearts.
Sa-
we have like
Yes.
Persona.
Well, funny enough, not copyright claimed.
Kingdom
The
Hearts
Persona,
isn't?
Persona 5, when I play in the intro, it is, but not usually. No, Kingdom Hearts isn't. It was
There was-
Savannah's episode.
Well,
Damn.
there was a playlist that you played when it was one of our remote episodes when we first went to the Converging Expanse and then
Sovereign.
went to the Sovereign's
No,
Fortress.
that was bullshit because I chose like a public domain song or like a song on YouTube where everyone's like, yeah, like it purposely said in like the description like
You can
anyone
use
can
it,
use
yeah.
this, and then immediately I upload a video and it's like copyright claim.
Yeah.
Bitch.
That's
Yeah.
fucked because
I'm like,
like I
motherfucker.
loved that playlist because it was just like ambient kind of spooky kind of goth shit and it was like
This was-
rhythms
It
and
sucks 'cause
piano.
we couldn't
Yeah.
hear that playlist.
That
Oh
sucks.
yeah,
'cause-
during the
We
remote.
didn't hear any
Dude,
music.
I loved that music.
Dude, that was one of the hardest things about doing remote. We couldn't hear any music.
Yeah.
We could barely
Oh,
understand you guys.
Yeah.
And it was lagging, so we would like see you guys do stuff. We didn't get that animated motion. We didn't
Yeah.
get like
That
Oh, yeah.
sucks.
It was
Oh,
tough.
it was
It was
bad.
tough.
I think the Devil May Cry music was claimed. I don't remember.
I think
though.
Devil
I
May
remember
Cry.
you saying that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
probably.
I believe it was, but I didn't care because it was the perfect music for A Vice and Sin.
That
Yeah.
was so
Nice.
early on.
That was so
like
good.
what would you
Episode
what,
1.
Yeah, what did we have to lose
Yeah.
at one episode? Like
I have one more question. What is a moment that seems small, like in comparison to everything else that happened, but one that like sticks in your memory the most?
Oh, that's tough.
For one of mine is letting, when we first started fighting a Vice and Sin, letting that one kid go. Like trying to get rid of that
yeah.
one
Yeah,
kid
yeah.
to save him and just
That's
being
the-
like, get out of here.
That's the
like,
good shit.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's that's like the good little character
Yeah,
moments that really
yeah.
help elevate that to
Yeah.
a new level.
One that doesn't seem like so big, but like it sticks and you're like,
Yeah.
oh shit.
For me, what comes to mind is trying to include V and A Vice and Sin and the Veins as assets to our group after we had already defeated them and kind of came to like a loose kind of
Right.
like peace. Was like, all right, now that we kind of recognize and respect each other's power, we're kind of on the same side against the rest of the world.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
trying to include them as kind of like a covert little
Yeah.
like underling for us again and again.
Or,
it didn't really like come to fruition as much as like I may
Well,
have liked it to.
one-
But I liked introducing that and kind of like bringing up to two of you in roleplay and like
Yeah.
as players as well, being like, we have options aside from just what you can do or what Jackie can do. It's like, what can we have? Like, we may have a little army that may help us out,
Yeah.
and kind of introducing like things are bigger than we realize they are.
Yeah. Neo just said the pill.
Oh my god, the fucking
I'm
hell!
about to drop some mad knowledge right now. That
No,
pill-
don't.
Wait, no, please, please.
No,
mean?
shut up, shut up.
I already,
thought you
I already,
knew.
I already told
You
all
already
of you.
told us.
What?
I already told you.
Don't
what it
tell
does.
the audience though.
No,
Why
tell
not? It's
everybody.
done.
No,
It's
shut up.
done for.
Tell everybody.
Because they'll always think about it.
no.
They'll always think about it.
Spill the tea about the pill.
Don't.
High or low?
Yes.
Low.
Wait, no.
Low.
Have chat decide high or low because it's them that wants to know.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
chat. All right.
Yeah. High or low? Do you want to know
All
about
right, chat.
the pill?
High or low?
High or low, chat.
High or low?
High or low.
Let's see.
We're gonna roll a d4. You have to decide whether it's high or
First
low.
one to answer is that's the
If you guess right, we'll tell you. If you guess wrong, we won't.
Yeah, that's it.
high.
All right.
right.
I'm counting down. I'm counting down from 10.
Neo says high.
10.
10, 9,
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
7,
Oh my god.
6, 5, 4, 3,
Uh-huh.
2, 1. It's high.
Yeah.
Logic
High.
says do it. Neo says high.
What is it?
It's high.
It's a high.
4? I
It's
tell
the
them.
highest. Spill the tea about the pill.
The pill
The pill.
does nothing.
It's a
It never,
placebo.
it never did anything. The reason why it existed is because it is an ingredient to what Maria wanted to accomplish, which you guys still don't know.
Yep.
And now
And,
she's dead. So.
Yeah, and when Jackie took it, and they were like, I was like, but like in my paper, you can like zoom down and just says like,
Nothing.
it literally says if one of the players
Magic Gosh,
takes
can
the
I
pill,
have this pill?
nothing happens.
What does this pill do?
That's
Nothing.
nothing.
That's amazing.
It was literally just like an ingredient, like on its own.
Yeah.
Fuck all. And very
That's
expensive,
so,
but
we were stuck on
hilarious.
that pill for so long. We were so worried about it.
That kind of makes me so happy that we're
Yeah.
so afraid of this thing that actually does
Oh, I
absolutely
know,
nothing.
yeah.
But my small moment that ended up being big is 100% when we almost drowned in the river.
Oh
Yes!
my god.
Absolutely.
Because like we got sticks for Cedric and the Bola rescued us when we met him again.
Yeah.
It was such like a big moment that was really dumb.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that a
the
lot.
fashion show with Jackie and Elias having to
Yeah.
go out on the catwalk.
Yeah.
I thought that was a really fun
That's
moment.
That was a really fun episode in general
Oh, yeah.
because it put us in a situation that, like, knowing a couple of years ago when we started season 0, like, I never would have expected us to end up in that situation.
Sounds like someone's in there.
I liked Misty and Adam's interactions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always liked having like the door open and Miguel,
Yeah.
her father, is like right there.
The girl is so stressful.
I know.
Yeah. He's like a girl. He's like the girlfriend's dad.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
literally,
Yeah,
dude, that literally reminded me of fucking Spider-Man, where he takes out MJ.
Yeah,
Or in,
Spider-Verse?
Yeah, no.
is
In
it
Homecoming.
Homecoming.
When
That's
he
what it
goes
is.
to the
when he
prom
goes to the
and-
dance
Oh,
and
And he
it's
has
fucking
that,
Vulture.
he has that awkward
Vulture,
conversation
yeah.
with Michael Keaton in
Yeah,
the car.
yeah.
Yeah.
That just it reminds me of like dating experience as a human, like dealing with like
Yeah.
the father of the girl. Like you have to handle that.
Having to
awkward-
play.
Also, how it kept, Neo says also how it kept being a thing after the river that Cory and David started rolling like trash whenever water was
It
involved.
wasn't just
Yeah.
when water was involved. It was whenever he and I had to work together.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it's true.
Anytime I'm gone,
It's
it's because okay. Here's my theory. I take the brunt of I get hit so fucking bad every fucking time, and unless Adam gets one shot. But I always take it, so when I'm not around, it's just them two to fucking take the damage.
Two
And we
things.
fuck it up.
First of all, the river definitely gave Adam a fear of water, and second, I always get one shot.
You do.
Against
You always
every
get one shot.
boss,
Yeah.
and I have the highest defenses of the
You have
party.
15 dodge and parry,
15
Yeah,
dodge and parry.
yeah.
My toughness is 7, which is okay.
which is
But-
still fine.
Yeah, but yeah, I'm like the tank.
Yeah,
I
no,
get
no.
one shot every time.
That's something I wanted to say too. Is it kept ending up weird that
somehow get one
Elias
shot
is
every
very
time.
obviously the caster glass cannon type character, and
Oh,
he
yeah.
kept
Yep.
ending up in tank situations.
Yeah.
Like
yep.
I have the
Yeah,
ghost shield,
yeah.
and it like I got 10 toughness with that, which is formidable, but it's not infallible.
Oh, I was.
Like,
Yeah.
but I kept ending up in situations where like I have to like handle everything head on, and it was stressful as hell.
It took me a long time because whenever I play any like tabletop game, I'm rogue all the way. I'm a freaking FPS like fucking
FPS? DPS?
DPS. Yeah, FPS. I'm FPS.
Fucks per second.
Bucks per second.
You want to fight, Cam?
You want to fucking. I get my gat out. No,
Pull out my
DPS.
Glock.
Sorry, that's my bad. DPS. I'm always DPS, so it took me a long ass fucking time. That's why I died in like the beginning of. I died a lot in season 0, but also in season 1 because I kept playing like a DPS character when I should not have been playing like that at all. And so it took me a while to get used to being like, all right, fly the fuck out of there and just fucking do whatever you gotta do.
like a thought just occurred to me. It's like totally separated from what we're talking about, but like whenever I make one of these campaigns, I always like to try and follow a theme in my constructing, because you can't force your players to like do anything. Like you don't want to railroad them. So if you like say like, this is the theme, you got to follow it. What would you guys think is like the theme of the campaign? Not characters, but of like
the whole campaign
in general
of season 1. Yeah.
Oh man.
Well, I never felt like you said railroaded. I never felt like we had zero options. Like I never felt like all signs point to we have to do this one thing, except for going to the converging expanse, taking out the tethers and doing that. But that wasn't like we have no choice thing. That was like a goal oriented thing to save the world thing. Like the stakes were high.
We don't want to die.
Yeah. As a whole, though, for a theme, maybe just emotional control. I think emotional control is a big one, because you kind of kept throwing us all in check with like Elias kind of controlling his recklessness, and Adam in situations where his emotions were dropped because of something bad that happened, and then him losing his power. So kind of learning that emotional discipline. Yeah. And Jackie learning the emotional discipline as well of not acting out of anger in high stakes situations and that kind of thing. And definitely just like emotional discipline, I think was the big theme.
Growth is definitely a big one, because I feel like throughout the whole thing, like all of our characters definitely like in this whole season, we all grew. Like we all learned something about like ourselves or about the other person or about the group that like we didn't previously know, and we all had to like adapt. I feel like, especially when introducing like NPCs, like when V came in, and we all had to adapt to that, and especially Jackie being like not head to head, but you were like super close with V. Like it was definitely like a different struggle of like, all right, well like you're on my side, so they're on my side, and then you have to like kind of deal with that. And like
it came from a place of like inner city kid recognizes like I'm with this group for circumstance. Like I'm hanging out with this group of people because it's safer to do this than being alone. So kind of like how our superhero group kind of thing was like our gang versus V with the Veins was her gang, and then that created friction between Jackie and Elias when I'm like, hey, like let's introduce like this group into us, and you're like, there's more going on here than you understand.
I think another big theme, including growth, is kind of like the impact of power. Because like I feel like with every character, because I feel like that works with every character, even the villains. Like even with Wilt Lucius, he has the power to like make superpowers, but should he? And like with like the Mad King in Abaya, like he has the Centrum, which can like give him power in Abaya, but should he use it? And like Jackie can get power from the Dark Enemy, but should she? And like that theme seems to carry along like both season 0 and season 1.
Say the same thing with Animus.
And something
Chad nailed it.
With,
like, what's there now.
Action and consequences.
Definitely read those. Read those for
toxic
listening.
Relationship and abuse.
Absolutely.
It's really good.
I very much, when I went into it, my goal was the theme of choice and how, that responsibility.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Because when I think teen heroes, it's the Spider-Man. It's the
completely
great power comes great responsibility. How do you deal with that? And this, tabletop games are all about choice. That's like the whole point of them is like what you choose to be, what you choose to do. Are you gonna murder hobo it? You know what I mean?
Absolutely not. What's the fun in that?
That's what I did.
Something I remember reading about like Stan Lee saying that like he believed his like the success of Spider-Man came from being a young and relatable character to his readers. And being like playing teenage characters is definitely the way to go.
It provides a lot of opportunity for character growth and stuff like that.
I have a question. Is there something that you personally wanted from this campaign? Or like, hold on, that's not a good way.
Money.
1,000 viewers per stream. No.
What is... hold on. You guys, I have to think of a way to phrase this.
But while you're thinking about it, I really want to read Neo's comment about the theme thing.
No, willy-nilly will not be the final villain.
What the fuck?
Damn
But,
it!
I think Neo nailed it. He said an overarching theme would be toxic relationships and abuse, from Judge Brim as an abusive father to everything about Cam, to how the Dark Entity basically gaslit people into being grateful to it when it was really just using them, people using their power and influence over others to hurt them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very well said.
And I do this in other campaigns too. I mean, Lucas in chat, there was like a bully in another campaign, and he had an abusive father, kind of thing. And it's always a matter of like, I like to make characters that are villains or any antagonists who are, there's a reason why they're bad, right? There's a reason why they make their choices, and every single character needs to have those motivations in order to be interesting.
It humanizes them too.
Yeah, and the opposite of that, you have the Dark Entity, and who doesn't have a complicated motivation. They are literally created with just one need, and they have to abide. It is like their nature. You can't really, in my opinion, you can't really judge them for it. That you can have your opinions on why the Dark Entity is bad, but hey, man, he was just made that way.
Yeah, and he was just kind of fulfilling his own personal need. He was like spooky Galactus.
Yeah,
he's just kind of traveling the universe, sating his hunger. And it just happened that we were the food.
Yeah, exactly. Did you figure it out?
Sort of.
Okay, we'll help you.
Yes.
So is there... Okay. So, like I was saying earlier, most of what we made for the characters was made because that's just kind of like who we are. Was there anything personal that you put into your character that you liked being able to, like, live out?
Oh, I see. Like,
Or
living vicariously through the character.
Yeah, like something, maybe,
100%.
I don't know if it's too personal, but something that you put into your character just just because...
Whether it was like a power fantasy that you always want to live out, is there like a certain like... The great thing about role-playing, right, is being able to talk about certain ideas or convey ideas in these made-up situations in a safe space.
Yeah.
We talked about that kind of thing in a loose way when we did our podcast with Adam, who we're having on next week. We talked about like handling real life situations through roleplay in terms of like almost as a weird sort of therapy. Not weird. Weird isn't the right word. But
a lot
like,
of people use D&D for therapy.
Or just like an
because
outlet.
like you can definitely as like I can handle this emotional thing that I've dealt with in the past in a way that I have full control of and around trusted people. The only thing that really kind of comes to mind, but like definitely does, was like obviously the like playing out Elias as like the spooky kind of character because it feels right for me. But having it was more so in season 0, but it happened here and there with season 1, was having like Elias is like too busy to pay attention, but is definitely accepting mom. Like having that place be the safe space for everybody to be like, we have powers and we can show up here and she's not going to flip out on us or freak out or be too worried about us for being what we truly are to ourselves. Like growing up as a kid, like my mom always like completely accepted kind of everything that like I did as weird or whatever as it was. She was like, oh well, that's my kid and he can do what he wants as long as he's happy and have his friends around and whatever, and as long as they're all here like and they're not getting into trouble, then it's okay by me. And it's just that like that makes me happy. That gives me a warm spot.
For me it's easy. My character's very outgoing and extroverted and always like have to do, and that's like how I wish I am, because I'm a very introverted clamshell of a person while I'm like in public. So
it's so funny that you say that, because like obviously we know you. But like if you just knew you from like initiative, you would never know that you're just like
because that's the joy of playing a character that's like that.
Is there any?
What about you?
I think definitely
like you always wanted one arm.
Like I just think about it all the time. How much cooler I would
You definitely
be.
want to be named after
I fucking love sushi.
Same. No, really.
Definitely like being strong enough to overcome like past obstacles and like having that like power to or I don't want to say control, but like
Control's a fine word.
Yeah.
Control isn't inherently a bad trait.
Yeah,
No.
but having that control over like what I do and what the decisions that I make, and nobody can tell me otherwise. You know.
Yeah, the benefit of playing every character is that I can infuse a little bit of myself in everyone.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know? So there's like Cedric, like that's like my goofy, you know, stupid side, and I love playing Cedric because it feels really natural to me. I always have that stupid character in there. Or I liked playing like Bid Shot. I liked him for a lot of different reasons of just like this like dominance over everything in conversation, but like not a dick about it.
I was gonna say Wilt Lucius was
Just
you
Yeah,
fucking
Wilt Lucius
jerking off all over the campaign.
You're like, bitch.
Yeah, I loved Will Lucius. He was like everything I wanted in a villain.
Yeah.
Specifically, you know, over there. Not that I want to be a villain, but
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, you're absolutely.
yeah. But I liked. I don't know. I liked.
Was there any one NPC that you really like, or like villain, whether it was a villain or like
Character in general.
whatever, that you really like? You were like, man, like this connects.
Bjork.
Bjork.
Bjork the sheep.
Bjork's the one. Yeah.
I just like such profound quotes.
That's not
like,
even Barry.
I love Barry too. Barry
Barry's my-
season 0.
You love
Barry.
stomping on
You love,
Barry.
yeah, you love stomping on my fucking dog.
I thought Barry was actually gonna die in the
I
final
would
episode or two.
fucking
I thought you were
love-
actually going to kill Barry.
Yeah, he is here. He's
I
dead.
can't. Barry's the final boss. Remember?
True.
Barry,
true.
my dog, is the final boss.
Barry, as you guys thought it was.
Yeah, they thought it was like Barry
For like a
White.
year.
Yeah, literally, I thought
Yeah.
it was Barry, like Barry White.
Like, no, like strawberry.
Yeah, it's Barry. Yeah,
Barry.
with an E.
So funny.
Me and David thought it was Barry.
Yeah, we
They're
did.
like, yeah, Barry.
Over a year.
He's like, never known you.
Yeah, yeah.
Let's get it on.
No, I mean,
See, Neo
goes,
thought it
oh,
was
his
too.
name is Barry.
It's Barry. It's the dog's name is Barry.
Like
that's
strawberry.
like how every time the two of you say Xavier's name,
Xavier.
I always
Xavier.
hear Xavier, and it's not
Yeah.
right.
It's
Because I'll say
It's
like
Xavier with a Z.
I'll say
Xavier.
it's Xavier.
Not
Yeah, I hate
Xavier.
that. I hate that.
It's Xavier. No, it is
Oh, it is Xavier.
Xavier.
I thought for sure it was Xavier with a Z, but I felt weird spelling it with a Z. Like when I rendered the faces and put them on Instagram, and I put him as Xavier.
Yeah.
But
Linguists hard at work documenting the Barry merger.
let this be it.
It's Barry.
Barry.
Sorry, I was wrong.
We're sorry.
We're sorry.
Oh my god.
Yeah, but honestly though, I don't. You know, all my characters,
There's
I
not
love them.
one.
They're all like my kids. You know,
Yeah.
I love them all. You know, there's different parts of me in all of them. You know, I can't really exclude myself from it. Like Egon is like the general sense of apathy that I have towards most things, whereas you know Cedric is the eccentric. You know,
What was the navigator?
it's just
He
bullshit.
was just like,
man. Dude, that was like
A
the
joke that went too far.
that's yeah that. Navigators is funny. I fucking love the Navigators.
It's funny, yeah.
You know who was a very honestly like you character to me? And once we figured out what his like actual overarching power was, it made sense in just the way like I know you as a creative person was Uman.
Old woman.
Yeah.
Being the chaotic character who had split personalities and had the overpowered thing of like teleporting, like it just being kind of like our useful vessel, but being a chaotic, goofy kind of like Empire Strikes Back first meeting Yoda type character, where like he's really powerful, but he's also a complete jackass, and it's your job to deal with like navigating
Yeah,
that
so
line.
funny.
I do love those kind of characters.
Yeah.
Those you never expect what's gonna come up,
Yeah.
and just like throwing in for a loop. And Uman, you know, we haven't seen the last of Uman.
That
It's
makes me
funny.
happy.
You know, and
I like Uman.
you know, I can't wait to explore him a bit more,
Yeah.
if at all.
Mhm.
You know, I like the crazy boys.
Yeah.
Is that
Do
it?
we have any other questions?
Is that-
I-
are we good?
Open it up to
If
chat.
we're wrapping
It's
up,
been open.
if we're wrapping up, I have one last question for everybody.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
Over the course of the entire campaign
Yeah.
so far, pretty much, I mean, I guess we can say season 1 as a whole.
Yep.
How many ones do you think you rolled?
Oh,
Oh god.
oh.
In the last 2 sessions, it had to have been like 15.
Yeah.
Like
Dude.
almost every turn.
I think I'm somewhere around 10 for just the past 5 episodes
Yeah.
for me.
It's so funny to me because like you've been getting the shaft for so long, but if we went back to season 0, like no matter what campaign I'm in, it does not fucking matter.
There's a reason why she has 4 points in Lucky.
Yeah,
It's true.
Yeah, dude, it does not matter.
That was your like life jacket.
Yeah, it really was because I always roll ones. Since I started D&D to now, that's been consistent throughout every dice I've
so
used.
funny.
I always
so
Yeah, you roll terrible
Roll
no
ones.
matter what you play.
It does not matter. It does not matter. Terrible.
Neo said, "Initiative drinking game. Take a shot whenever Soul Flame misses.
Yeah.
Finish the drink if it hits on homing."
Honestly, as soon as I gave Elias homing, that was my fucking saving grace. Because if I didn't have homing, I would just be fucking aggravated the entire time and wouldn't be making anything. Like, no damage.
100%. It's so funny. The amount of times
Oh
you've
my God.
missed, but homing has did it.
Almost
I know,
every
it's funny.
single time. Like, past a certain point, it was like, if, like, I'm gonna get him on the homing, and that's usually it. Like, there's probably, like, a number of times that the homing has worked on a final hit.
The only reason that Jackie hasn't rolled more ones is because half of her abilities are perception.
Yeah.
It's true. It's
Thank
true.
God, dude.
Yeah.
So she doesn't
But
have to roll to hit.
even that, I did something similar in this initiative that I did when I first started playing D&D, was that I misunderstood numbers and how you.
What does that even mean?
So the whole time I'm so confused because I had my mental blast, rank 6. I always thought if they get a 16 or above, that's it. But it's perception, so it automatically damages.
Oh, you thought the damage was 16.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So every single time that somebody was like 17, I was like, damn, they pass.
It's like, no, dude, it's the perception.
They
You can
still do
see it, so
damage,
you can.
yeah.
Yeah, meanwhile, it's supposed to be like 21 or 22.
Yeah. Oh,
It's
yeah.
ridiculous.
15 plus 6 is the toughness, right?
Yeah,
Or
so
something like
21.
that,
Yep. So they like
You
so
were-
many
yeah.
people would have been hit if I just didn't fuck that up.
I'm kind of glad you didn't know that, though, because that wouldn't have made this all.
It's true.
Like,
It's true.
your misunderstanding of the statistics have made for a more dramatic story over time.
Yeah.
The character would get like cross-eyed, which is why I would always fuck up.
Yeah, you have astigmatism.
Yeah,
Did you know that? You have one arm and an astigmatism.
Damn, I'm really like fucked up, man.
I should have took your other arm.
Oh,
I
fucked up.
did not know what you were gonna take that first time, or the second time, I should say.
What second time?
The second time I
yeah.
used the gift, because I got the first time I got my arm taken was because I used the gift of the dark entity to live and not die, and because I
As one
I
does.
did die. Well, I had already died actually.
Yeah, you died against Volmon,
Yeah.
the Mad King, otherwise known as Adam's father.
Yeah.
It's
And-
canonically I died.
Yeah, and then you died, and then the gift activated, and which gave you immortality.
Yeah.
You picked that beforehand.
Yeah.
So you knew going in.
Yeah, I was like,
Yeah.
nope.
And-
she didn't trust you, is what it was.
yeah. So
Nope.
you came back, and then you fought, and then you passed out, and
I
woke
lost
up without an
my
arm.
Yep.
So the second
Ain't that a
time,
bitch?
yeah,
happens.
the second time I used the gift, I was like, I have no idea what he's gonna take from me.
Yeah, I thought it would be boring if I just like you lost a foot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You lost
you
Barry.
lost a toe.
I mean,
no,
yeah.
not Barry.
You lost the friends that you made along the way. Like, you know.
How dare you steal the experience?
So I was like, you know what? I'll use it to like just sow a seed. You know, because I needed a reason. Because I knew I wanted the Lauren thing to happen, but I still needed a reason for it to happen. I needed to be like, all right, how am I going to make this work?
Yeah.
And then you delivered it to me, and I was like, yeah,
what a seed
Yeah.
it was.
I feel like we deliver most of our downfalls, like with
Yeah.
sure, 1000%. That was the best. Oh, we're gonna talk about the best moments in the campaign. It was when you literally shook hands with Rogue.
Cam. Yeah.
Yeah, that was some bullshit, dude. I didn't even realize that until it was too late.
Yeah, me either.
So funny. Like I want to go back and watch.
Never
You could probably
trusting
see
Adam
like
again.
in my eyes, and I'm like, yeah.
And
This
the
is-
fucking
this
worst thing
is
was
why-
I followed his lead. Was
Yeah.
like, all right, well, like we might as
Yeah.
well try to take the pacifist approach with at least one of these
Yep.
fucking tethers.
And
to
this
do
is why
right.
we never listen to Adam.
This is why we never shake hands with a potential enemy ever fucking again.
It's true.
If it was anyone else, they probably would have been like, okay.
Something I honestly expected was when you made Elias like go to his like parallel universe future where he met future Elias.
Oh yeah.
And Jackie wasn't there, and New York was a complete fucking desolate, shitty wasteland, and like, it was like Adam and Savannah and Elias.
Yeah.
I think, as those were the only ones that had confirmation of it, was very like Days of Future Past, and Jackie wasn't there. And like meeting my future self and him saying like, you have to make sure she doesn't die. Like, we beat Dark Entity, but we beat him wrong. Like, it didn't cross my mind that beating him wrong was a possibility.
Yeah, well,
And
yeah, you're right.
well, no, just saying like, after having that happen and then having the circumstance of the Dark Entity taking control of Jackie and then having to fight her, I kind of felt like that was almost like a self-fulfilling prophecy. Like, I honestly didn't quite expect a season 2 out of you. And I figured that it was going to be the end-all be-all. And there was a point where it was, you were kind of just like beating us into submission with just making decisions. And there was a point where I threw a Soulfire at Jackie solely because I didn't think there was anything else I could do.
Oh, wow.
And then I learned that the Gift of the Dark Entity gave her immortality. And it was like, oh, okay, well, I'm glad that happened, because if it hit her, it would have fucking killed her, and I would have fulfilled that whole thing.
You did Banshee.
That's a good
Well, I did that too, because I did that more for I knew you had a high will, so I figured it would just paralyze or hold you in place.
You underestimated my
Yeah. But
rolls.
yeah, but that final like throwing a Soulfire at the Dark Entity and then having that be the Nat 20 versus your Nat 1, that was purely I have no fucking
I can't
idea.
believe that.
That was
I have
awesome.
completely
That was awesome.
nothing left in the tank.
I was so jealous because
Yeah.
it was okay. So
yeah, I felt like I kind of stole that from you.
why I tried to make it
didn't
like
feel like I was the right one to
that's
do that.
the thing, you didn't at all, because I tried to do that three fucking
Yeah.
turns
The end
in
of
a
that
row.
fight was you like trying to get the sword. He's like, yeah, get away.
Yeah.
You could probably
I literally tried to do that, and then I got all these powers, and I immediately was knocked out. And
you-
I tried like 3 turns in a row. I'm like, I used extra effort, and I just knocked out, and then got brought back up. Used extra effort, knocked out, brought back up. I was like, I'm not it. That's it. No.
like, we wasted hero points.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
that whole fight.
Yeah.
Like, we were forced into circumstances where we needed to use them. But that last throwing the Soulfire, like, you could probably go back into the last episode and watch the complete fucking defeat in me going, well, I have no other option. I'm just gonna
Yeah,
throw a
really.
Soulfire at this motherfucker and see what happens. Like, literally throwing shit at the wall until it stuck, and it stuck
Yeah.
hard.
Fun fact: the future vision thing was supposed to be both you and Adam. And Adam had his own little thing,
Yeah.
but you weren't there that session.
I wasn't there.
Yeah, so I couldn't do it.
Interesting.
So I had to just do it with Elias. So.
I feel like that's the only thing that saved me from these two. I feel like I most definitely, like, Adam would have freaking tried to dimension shift me or something.
We had already made an agreement when we were on the ship.
Yeah, that-
we were flying.
that you
You were
would've
just like,
killed
dude,
me.
whatever it takes. Like,
Yeah.
if it comes down to it, you have to kill me. That
Yeah.
was on the back of my
Yeah,
mind when I was fighting you when you
Yeah.
were possessed. It was like, fuck, dude, like. All signs point to I have to kill Jaggy.
Yeah.
I don't want to be
Yeah.
the one to do it because of the animus judge thing.
Yeah.
There are so many risks when it comes to including that sort of time, like seeing into the future and knowing an outcome.
Yeah.
Especially in tabletop too, because one, you don't want to railroad your players.
Yeah.
2, you don't want to railroad the plot. And but my mindset was like, okay, you kind of know the heroes are going to win in the end. In a tabletop, you don't. Obviously, you guys could have died.
Yeah.
But narrative, a good
It
narrative.
felt like we might.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
More often than not,
That's
it
what the
honestly
good
felt
narrative
like
should
we
be.
would.
But it's important to, like, okay, you know the good guys are going to win, but how they do it is
Yeah.
the important part. And
Yeah.
what do they pay the price? Like, you could take the quick and easy route. You could have, like before the fight, we did like, Jackie, she won't bother us.
Dude, I was fully prepared, honestly, like, to roleplay dealing with being the one that had to kill Jackie
Sure.
for the sake of the greater good of the situation and face Animus for it.
I was ready to roleplay being dead.
You did a couple times. But, like, I already had kind of, like, a defense in saying, like, she got possessed by the Dark Entity and then stabbed one of our friends unprovoked.
Yeah.
And that was enough in the
Yeah.
judges'
One of-
eyes,
one of
I guess,
Adam's-
to justify having to kill her.
One of Adam's less played to complications is that some people don't deserve justice. Like if you like, that's why he killed Maria.
Yeah.
Is because like she
was
didn't
just-
deserve to live.
She was wicked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like when Neo was like when Cedric and Adam were conspiring murder against Jackie, because like in Adam's mind it's like, well,
I didn't deserve
if that's like if she permanently becomes like the dark entity, then like she doesn't deserve to live.
Oof.
I
Wow,
hope
that's
no,
that's
faith
fucking
in-
I
harsh.
love
Yeah.
that
That's a
because
complication he
it's
has.
Fucking
I
harsh.
love that though because it's so
I know
like
she did a lot of good things, but like fuck her.
no, I really love
No,
that.
she saved
because
me
it's-
multiple times.
The parallel of it is it's like Wolverine and Cyclops teaming up to figure out what to do about the Phoenix. Like that's straight up what was happening.
Yeah.
And we handled it a lot better than the X-Men handled the Phoenix.
Thankfully.
Yep. Thank God.
Yeah.
Oh,
The only good thing about it was you weren't like finessed by the dark entity into
well, the good thing about
believing in his kind of thing. It was just like you're taking it because if you don't, you're gonna die.
the good thing about it was that I had 11 injuries.
That was
And anything that hit me
Yeah.
killed me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Knocked out so much.
Dude,
There should be like
oh.
concussion rules. And
Dude, I fucking got fucked that whole last fucking set. I had 11
true.
injuries, and I was just like,
You got wrecked, dude.
If you weren't possessed when I hit you with that soul fire, you would have died.
dude, at one point the Dark Knight is just like, you know, fuck this fucking asshole.
you guys forgot about the sword a lot.
The blade of the dark entity.
Yeah.
There was more lore behind that.
Well, we didn't have it for a while.
The
We left it there.
yeah, but the blade of the dark entity had a attribute that like I never used. It was what was like one of the complications or whatever for the damage multiplier. It was like phasing or
Well, it can hit dimensional,
dimensional. That's what it was.
and it also had another
we
feature that I
should've
can't
fucking
say.
had
what
it.
does like
Well,
hitting
that's why
dimensionally even like mean?
So there's a like a power in the game that lets you change your form, and one of them is like you can like essentially go like astral plane style, like you become untouchable because you are in another dimension, but still
Man,
there.
that's fucked up because I landed a lot of damage with the blade of the dark entity, and not once did I turn into an ethereal being.
No,
That's why I was at one point when I had no powers. I was like, if I just get that fucking knife from him, but I wanted to roll that nat 20 so fucking
I know,
bad.
would've been
Oh
hype.
my god!
Would've
I was
been
like,
hype.
please!
It would
Not
have
the
been awesome.
dice. Not the
I rolled a 2 and then I rolled a 1, so that was where I was at.
You were just like,
Yeah.
Neo said he half expected Dark Entity to just flat out vaporize Jackie.
yeah. I mean, I thought about it.
Yeah. Honestly,
Just
like,
going like you're a bad servant.
I was
Goodbye.
fully expecting to be dead by the end of that session. I was like, my character's gone. Like, what else? What am I gonna make?
You're prepared to die for a solid like 2 months.
Oh yeah.
true.
Like
oh, yeah.
every session you walked into, you're like,
I was
dude,
like,
this
I'm
is
dead.
it. This is
Oh,
the end.
fuck. I was dead.
I was convinced that either Cedric, V, or Xavier were gonna die.
Yeah. I flat out believe
And
Cedric. Xavier.
Xavier.
Okay.
Why? What was that face?
guy.
Thought I heard something else.
What was that
Thought I heard
face?
Xavier.
Nope.
I hear it. I hear it.
You hear shit.
Yeah.
Overall,
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Overall,
I agree.
Overall, amazing season.
Yeah.
I loved it.
I
Yeah,
loved
yeah.
this episode.
I have a soft spot in my heart for season 0, which I'm excited to share with everyone when we get the means to do that.
Yeah,
Yeah. We've been working the entire time we've been doing season 1. We've been compiling everything everybody can remember into this big long Google Doc so we
I'm
can kind
basically
of
a dictionary of season 0.
yeah. So at one point we can figure out a way to present that in a 10 to 20 minute synopsis for you guys
Yeah.
to enjoy and
at
come
some
up to speed with
at
us.
some point,
Yeah. at some point.
that will be a thing.
Don't count on it anytime soon.
We're working on it.
Yeah.
It's not like we're not. We're just it's going to be a little while.
Season 2 is coming.
Yes.
Is it?
I won't give a specific date, but it won't be too long.
Yeah.
Until then, we have next week again. We have our Kids on Bikes one
yeah.
shot.
Yes.
With, same time, same place over here, where the 4 of us will be playing.
Hell yeah.
And then
Colby
our
will
GM,
be a
Adam.
player.
I know. I'll be a player.
Yeah, it's
I'm
gonna be
really
fun.
looking forward to that.
Yeah.
That'll be fun.
Aside from the D&D sessions that we did for a couple weeks where you DM,
Yeah.
I haven't played with Colby as a player.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
fun. I'll be sure to be an asshole.
I can't wait. He's the bully.
Yeah.
Hopefully we have more exciting things in the works, but
Yeah.
we'll be back.
Yeah. Any last tips and tricks for people who want to stream?
Just go for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, honestly,
Don't
just
hold
do
back.
it. Like, the only thing that stopped us from doing it is just because, like, we didn't. Like, if you want to stream, then just do it. Like,
with anything.
don't worry about quality at first. Don't worry about any of the setup or whatever. Just hop on.
Yeah.
That's it.
That and promote wherever anybody will let you.
Yes. Promote.
That-
Oh yeah.
Advertise.
Help each other out.
Yeah.
Help each
Help
other.
initiative.
I
out.
think a big thing that hopefully maybe it might have helped us was rating at the end of our streams.
You scratch my back, I scratch yours.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's like why we raid, because like, especially when someone only has like a couple viewers, like 2 viewers, and someone hops in with like 10, it's like it makes their night.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
you double their audience for
Yeah.
them, and it's wonderful.
Which, I mean, I'm just gonna say now, we're going to raid at the end of the stream.
Yeah.
So if
Yeah.
you're in the chat, please stick around for that, because we love making people's nights.
Yeah. But for everyone else, if you're listening on Spotify, YouTube, anything like that, if you're watching on Twitch VOD, follow us, leave those likes, comments, look up Keep Tappin'
Yeah,
Nets
yeah.
with initiative.
Let's make
Thanks.
a master list of everything that we're on right now. Like, just for
Isn't
the
that-
sake of we're always
Isn't
loose
that
when we say
links?
it.
What is it?
We're-
Exclamation
Oh,
point.
Yeah,
links.
but-
exclamation part links.
Yeah, verbally we're on.
Hold on, let me get it.
Facebook and
Yeah, we're
Twitter
on
and
Facebook.
obviously
We're on
Twitch.
Twitter, Twitch,
YouTube.
Instagram, YouTube,
There we go. I put links
Stitcher.
in the district.
Yeah.
Uh,
Stitcher, iTunes, Google Play
iTunes,
Music.
Google Play Music, Apple Music.
Yeah,
I think so.
I
Which
think
is- I
that's
put that
just
recently.
iTunes.
That
I put the link tree in.
Okay.
in
Yeah,
the
you
chat.
can join our Discord from the link tree.
Discord. That's 10. We're on
Please
10 different
love
fucking
us.
things.
Please
Find us wherever the fuck you can think of, and if you can think of something we haven't, let us know so we can show up there too.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, someone click the link that says webpage not available. I'll probably have to fix that.
Oh, yeah, we'll have to update it.
No,
Oh, yeah,
not
it does.
available.
All right.
Sick.
Yeah, well,
Thanks, web.
Hold up.
Linktree.
we'll
Let's
update
find
it.
out.
But anything we just said, we're on all that.
Yeah.
That
And
is
just
blog
click a
about-
like,
Colby,
just click a
what the
follow,
fuck?
just click a subscribe on YouTube. Any of that helps a lot.
Yeah.
Comment, saying hi.
If you liked it, we know that most people in the chat are
It worked
amazing.
when I clicked on it on
There you go.
Instagram.
There we go.
We know that most people, like everyone in the chat, has been amazing and literally like so much fun
Yeah.
to talk to and be in
Yeah.
the chat and like the Discord and everything.
The chat is amazing.
Amazing.
Honestly, like, if you guys keep coming back, we'll keep coming back.
Yeah.
Like that,
Yeah.
it makes the show.
Having a responsive and attentive chat and having people that come back week after week.
Pretending that we're famous is great.
And just like I
Pretending
so
we're
much
important.
appreciate people that can like they watch it happen and they kind of remember more than we do.
Yeah, that means so much.
Yeah, like we have our own busy lives
Too much
to a
pressure.
degree. Like outside of this, like we're keeping our own balance
Yeah.
of the shit we need
we're
to
just
get
like
done.
a few assholes that get together every week and let's like dick around.
Like
And
we
just-
treat this as seriously as we can muster, but like you guys fucking
That's not a lot.
sometimes better than others. But like the details you guys remember helps us remember a lot of
Yeah.
things that we miss. And it's just it's
Yeah.
wonderful to know that people pay as much attention as they do.
yeah, and
Probably
just
more
like
so than we do.
yeah, it just means a lot. It means a lot.
Yeah, this is a total group effort, and without you guys, we would be nothing.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Oh, fuck them.
That's how he feels about everybody. The three of us especially.
Thank you so much for joining. We'll be here next week. Same
Yeah.
time, same place, and all that.
For kids on bikes.
Yep,
Somebody.
with an extra person.
Yeah.
Mm.
Follow us on social medias. Love you, and see you
We're
on.
And we're gonna raid.
Yeah,
We're
we're
gonna
gonna raid
raid.
everybody that's here right now. Stick around.
Yeah, yeah.
Bye,
Stick around.
everybody.
We're gonna hop in someone's chat and they're gonna love us.
Yep.